What's going on, everybody? Gamers, whoever. This is Steam-Man here, and this is podcast week number 3 currently. Well, you know where to find me because you're either watching on Twitch or you're watching on YouTube. There's a little less this week, so might not be as long, but I mean, there's still some stuff that happened this week, some things, and it'll be cool getting Marshall's input on some stuff too, his opinions on gaming related stuff. So we all know that Square Enix sold their American companies. They sold like Avengers and their Marvel stuff, and they sold Tomb Raider and DSX, all that stuff. Stop cooking. They sold all that stuff off. So part of the reason why with like Marvel especially, I guess they lost $200 million on the Avengers game. That is, that's nuts.
Not surprising.
Well, with the way it went, yeah, I mean, the game kind of fell after its first month. Its player base slowly just died, and then they couldn't bring them back with any of their DLC content or anything because the gameplay was just too repetitive and wasn't what it could have been. It had so much potential. I mean, I liked the story. The story was fine. The DLC story stuff, I mean, the Black Panther one was okay. The other ones kind of sucked because they didn't really matter. But, like, the game, like, even introducing Spider-Man, just, they failed with its gameplay and everything. And Square Enix as a whole were originally a Japanese company anyways. So, I mean, they probably only bought those American companies and those games to make a profit, to make money, and it turns out at this point they're just losing money. They had success with like Tomb Raider and stuff, but I mean, Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy didn't even sell very well because of Avengers failure, and that's a really good game. Guardians of the Galaxy is actually a pretty solid game. And a lot of people like myself didn't want to play it, and I got it later down the line for cheap, but like at launch and stuff, nobody wanted to play the game because Avengers just failed so much. So I don't know. Thoughts on stuff there?
Yours is the one that's like a Destiny clone, right?
Which one?
Avengers, it's like a Destiny clone or something like that.
Kinda, but not
Kinda,
first
yeah.
person. It's third person, but it's it's live service with the Avengers, so
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the whole Square Enix thing, I don't really have like an opinion on it. That's happening a lot. Like Sony and Microsoft are buying a lot of companies right now, and they're not doing a lot with them at the moment. So I guess we just have to see what they're going to do in the future.
Pretty much. Sony,
It's fun.
it's highly rumored they're going to buy Square Enix as well, which isn't surprising at all because Final Fantasy as a whole, 7 Remake, it came to PC, but it was timed exclusive on PlayStation, never came to Xbox. Final Fantasy 15 was on everything, but that was before they like started really grabbing a hold of Final Fantasy. Same went for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy were originally all PlayStation back in the day, and then that kind of changed over time, and then now yet again, same with Final Fantasy 16 is only going to be a PS5 exclusive, timed exclusive, and then come to PC down the line, which is great because I think the more the merrier for PC only players and stuff, and I think that Sony exclusives, people buy a PlayStation for those specific games, especially when PCs can be really expensive and stuff. Sure, you can get a good budget build, but the pricing of a PS5 versus a expensive PC to be able to play certain games like God of War and stuff is obviously way more expensive. But I think it's great that even though PlayStation has specific games only for PlayStation 4 and 5 or just PS5 come to PC 2 or 3 years down the line or whatever, because I mean they're still exclusive to PlayStation, but they're timed exclusives until they come to PC, and it's not like they're going to Xbox.
Like God of War.
Yeah, which was the biggest surprise ever for PC to get God of War. Like, I never thought I'd see the day, but then it happened.
True.
4 years after release, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot more to mess around with on PC and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I find it crazy to me. Well, it's not surprising at all that Avengers lost them $200 million, and that's probably their honestly, that's probably the reason why they sold off their American studios. Sure, Tomb Raider has success and stuff, but I think that Square Enix done goofed so bad with Avengers that I'm curious to know if the company that bought Marvel properties that Square Enix owned, if they're going to be able to, whether they're going to let Avengers just die as a live service or if they're going to revamp the entire game. I'm very, very curious when it comes to that aspect of them buying Marvel, Crystal Dynamics, I should say, that have Marvel games, you know. Thoughts on anything?
So how did you like Avengers? Because I did not play it.
See, the story mode wasn't bad. Like, I liked the story mode, but then after the story mode, and I had hopes for the game. For some reason, I had hopes because Square Enix hasn't done any Marvel projects before. The trailers were good. It looked fun. But then the story mode was good, and then, like, after so long after the story, after you play another, like, 20 hours, maybe probably less. For some people, maybe 5, 10. But I wanted to do everything that I could to know the game and stuff. It's way too grindy to be able to get just certain costumes and stuff, and it's way too repetitive. For an Avengers game to only be making you fight robots after robots after robots. Like, there's so many villains and, like, things to work with in the Marvel universe they could have put in that game so easily. And you're just fighting robots and more robots.
Oh,
And more robots.
Yay, bots.
It's
nice.
yeah. So like, it's just the game is just it's a mess. So I don't know. I don't know if the game. It's interesting because you look at a game like Anthem, and Anthem I remember the reveal trailer for that game was actually like insanely good, and like everyone was like, "This game, oh my gosh, this looks sweet." And then the game launched, and it was a completely different game. And now the game as a whole, the live service or whatever, is dead. Like they quit it like 2 years ago or something. They stopped making content for Anthem because they were like,
Yeah,
it
I'm
failed.
surprised it lasted a week. I
Yeah.
don't see how it lasted a week. It bricked consoles and stuff like that. That was that game was horrible. That was a nightmare. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Avengers was the reason though. Them losing that much money, it's like they had to make all their money back, and selling all these companies for 300 million, and then becoming just a Japanese company again. I mean, they said it was because of they want to spend more time into NFTs and cryptocurrency and stuff like that to make more money there, but I don't know. We'll see how that works for them. I don't know if that's gonna work out for them or not. But they
Yeah, I
were
don't think anyone wants a Mickey Mouse NFT. I don't think you want that.
no. Cameron.
I was just gonna ask, didn't Square Enix make the Soul Reaver games?
Soul Reaver? Did
I
they?
think
Yeah, Legacy of Kain,
so.
Soul Reaver.
Sean, look that up real quick.
Yeah,
I have it on Steam, but I have not played it.
He's gonna look that up.
good
real quick.
game.
I own
I
a
have-
lot
I
of
have it
games
on
Steam and
Dreamcast.
I've not played them.
I haven't played them before, so
Crystal Dynamic made Soul Reaver.
okay. So yeah,
Okay.
Cool.
Square owned Crystal, so yeah. I don't know how long they owned Crystal though. Sean, look up when Square Enix bought Crystal Dynamics because they might have been their own thing for a little while there. Actually, I'm curious to know how long they owned when they bought Crystal Dynamics.
Looks like 98.
Oh wow, so yeah, they had them for a good while. Okay. Hey Red, what's up? Oh, Mark's in the chat too.
Oh, wait, no, it's 09. It looks like.
09, okay. All right. I think honestly the biggest reason why, well, Marvel did want to expand their video games as a whole because like DC had DC had such success with the Batman games. Other than Batman, they haven't really done much yet. I mean, we got a new Suicide Squad game coming, which is made by the people who made the Gotham trilogy or Arkham trilogy. which could be something good,
Hopefully.
possibly. As long as it's like if it has combat similar to either Guardians of the Galaxy or Final Fantasy VII Remake, which Guardians you stick with one character but can use different moves with the other characters, or where you can flip between all the characters the way Final Fantasy VII Remake does, then it could be really, really good. But we haven't seen any gameplay really on it yet, I don't think. Just like cinematic trailers. They had a little bit of gameplay, I think, but not enough yet because the game was delayed to next year. So, I don't know yet if, yeah, we don't know enough about that game. Thoughts on anything? Not much related to. I mean, we've been just talking mainly on Square Enix, Avengers losing that much money, which obviously isn't surprising at this point. I still own the game too. I even played the next gen version for a little bit and tried it out because that was when I was like, all right, well, there was the Hawkeye DLC, the Kate Bishop DLC, and the Black Panther DLC. So I was like, all right, I'll at least play those because the story stuff's cool. I mean, it's kind of cool. And Black Panther having Wakanda in there was cool. But the thing is with Wakanda, they added more robots. They added a new spider robot. Woo!
Bots are forever, dude. They're everywhere.
And then the final boss was different, and it was actually unique because you fought Claw and like a robot thing, and it was kind of cool, but nothing else.
A robot Claw?
I don't know. It was something interesting. I'm probably the only one here who's played Avengers, but you've all seen some stuff on it, and the problems that have gone down there, down that hole.
So like Bethesda bad?
Well, the thing with Bethesda is they didn't lose money off Cyberpunk the way that they did eventually, like after launch, but when it first launched, they made money. Like, and it's not a live service either, whereas Avengers was a live service, and to keep that game alive, they have to spend money and try to make a profit. Versus Cyberpunk, which is a single player game that's going to eventually, I guess, add multiplayer. But oh wait, why was I thinking Cyberpunk? That's CD Projekt Red. See, you gotta correct me. But I guess that's just a different example. Bethesda, had their only issue they had was Fallout 76, you know, and that was only at launch. The game's fine now. It was just had bad launch, and they need, because of how bad it was for so long until they made content for it. They need Starfield to be a big hit. They need it to be a big hit. Cameron, you gotta have something on Bethesda right now.
I was gonna say, if Starfield isn't a big hit, then Elder Scrolls 6 will definitely be, even if it sucks.
Yeah, and Starfield, I mean, regardless of the way it will launch, it will sell a lot of pre-orders, I think. Even though we haven't seen gameplay on it yet, it's a Bethesda game, and a lot of people like those big open world RPGs. But the only thing is the game, it'll probably have some bugs because it's Bethesda, but if it's nothing game breaking, then as long as the game has a solid launch, then Bethesda's good. I mean, they're bought by Microsoft now anyway, so I mean, they're not going anywhere because Microsoft owns them. They grabbed them by the balls now. Bethesda, they own them, so it doesn't matter.
Hopefully, Microsoft make a new game engine or something, because they've been using the same one since like 2003, and it's that's why I gave up on them like a long time ago.
Exactly.
They've been recycling material for a long time.
That's another thing too that I had never mentioned is Bethesda. They need a new engine so bad now at this point. Like Fallout 76, I get it. It was an online Fallout, and it was similar to Fallout 4. What came out before 76? What game was before 76?
A mobile game, probably.
After Fallout 4, what was their big hit?
I honestly don't know. I can't remember.
It might have been one of those online Elder Scrolls games.
Well, ESO Online. I know that's good, but
well,
I'm gonna have to look at
How many of those
you guys talk about
Elder Scrolls Onlines are there?
the Havoc engine, right? That's what you guys talk about?
No, the Creation engine.
Oh.
The one that they made, they originally made it for Morrowind back in like the early 2000s, and they just keep modifying it to be able to use like new assets. So it's the same. They've been using the same engine for like decades now. It's rough.
Oh, I thought Skyrim ran off of Havoc.
No, I don't count Doom. That's made by Bethesda owns Doom, but Bethesda isn't the actual
Yeah.
developers. That's a
Bethesda-
completely
ID
different thing.
Softworks does.
Yeah,
Bethesda
same with
owns id
Wolfenstein.
Software.
Was it Rage 2? Maybe?
I hope not.
Oh,
I don't know.
but that's ID Tech though. That's id Software.
Did they make Prey? Bethesda?
I remember Prey.
Did they do Prey?
the remake of Prey or like the original one?
The remake.
Oh,
I don't know if I did that.
Let's see. Prey was 06. I don't need 10,000 pop-ups. Go away.
Yeah, I don't know what game was before Fallout 76. But, I mean, for the most part, they usually have good hits. It's just,
Old
76, well, yeah, but 76, like, had such a bad launch that for so long, like, the game had so many promises, the game should have been delayed at launch. It absolutely should have been delayed, and it wasn't delayed. No NPCs and all that at launch, and that gave Bethesda such a bad rep for a while. Yeah, they fixed the game. Yeah, the game's great now, but it's been a few years now, and that's understandable for an online game. And we're not going to see another Fallout for a while, and I guess they have like a 5-year plan for 76 for us online, just to keep adding new content, because we got Starfield, and then Fable 4, and then Elder Scrolls 6. So, but they need Starfield to be a hit, because if Starfield isn't a hit, they might lose money, and that's not gonna be good on them, even if Microsoft owns them. Like, because if that game does bad, then people will be skeptical about the next Fable, which people are really hyped for Fable.
Fable was good. I used to play it quite often back in the day.
Yeah, I can't believe I still haven't played Fable. I'll have to play Fable 2 one of these days, because I guess Fable 2
you played
is
the Avengers, but you haven't played Fable.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't grow up with Xbox and stuff, so like I never knew about Fable really until later down the line, and I just haven't played Fable. I know, it's crazy. Everyone's like, "You haven't played Fable? How?" I'm like, "I don't know." So I guess it's one of those games like The Last of Us, where like everyone's like, "You haven't even played this game? Like, what the heck?" Nice. Is that the first one? It says The Lost Chapter. That's first? Okay.
It has like some add-on packs on it or something.
Okay.
There's like 12 discs in here.
So is the second one the best one then? I heard 3 is very meh, or like the weakest one.
2 was really good.
2.
Yeah.
So if
I
I
would say
just
2's
so,
probably
so,
the
so if
best.
I just jump right into 2, I'd be fine. I don't have to play the first one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
I don't remember 3 at all.
I'll have to check out Fable 2 at some point, because it's on Game Pass. So I mean, just one price.
I remember there was a lot to do in Fable as opposed to the third one. I feel like the third one, there's nothing memorable about it. I don't remember it.
I haven't mentioned this since we're talking about like a remake kind of thing, but what do we think of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake? Like, I haven't played a lot of KOTOR, I'll admit. I know what they're about. I've never played the second one, but I played some of the first one recently. It's so dated, dude. Like, it doesn't even show you where to go. Like, I can't play. I have a hard time playing KOTOR.
Figure it out.
I just do. Because it doesn't show you where to go, and you gotta, like, go wherever.
It has like tank controls.
Yeah, its controls are a little funky too. And like, I went to play Old Republic, the online game, and I'm like, this is so much better, like visually and gameplay wise. Even though, like, yeah, it gets constant updates and it's been around for a while, but like, it looks so much like KOTOR is just so dated that I'm glad
Well, it
it's
did come out in like what 2003 or
yeah,
came out quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an older game now.
yeah, and that's why it's still really loved by so many from way back then. I wish I would have grown up and played them, but I didn't play them back in the day at all.
I didn't play them back in the day. I remember people always talking about them, but I'm more of a Star Wars Battlefront guy, like the first and second one from like 2004 and 5. I just played Battlefront 2, the original one, an hour ago.
Oh, nice.
I don't get to sit at my computer much, so yeah, there's a lot of mods for 2005 Battlefront 2. That are really good.
Oh yeah, no
that
doubt.
make it like more up to date. Yeah,
definitely. So when it comes to the remake, do we want? I want some changes personally. I mean, the combat can be turn-based. I mean, it's not even turn-based in the original. It's not. It's kind of weird to me. Like you click on a guy, you choose which attacks you want, then you can go to your other character, choose what attacks you want, and then click on the thing to let your characters do their thing. Or you can make one person attack, click your other character, move around, and click on an enemy, do what you want. It's kind of weird. It's unique, but like
Yes.
it's
Sounds
not
like Final Fantasy in a way.
it's not turn based at all. But it's like the game like pauses when you go to click on your first enemy or whatever and choose whether you want to shoot them or attack them with heavy or light attacks or whatever. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with the remake if they're going to like go with that style again, or if they're going to flat out go not turn-based combat and like free combat like Old Republic does in a way. I'm very curious. I feel like they're not going to go straight up open combat, but I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Remake did it very well, the way that it did it. It's not turn-based, but it mixes the combat the way it does in such a very good way. Speaking of, I don't even know who's making the KOTOR remake. Who the heck is making that game? Who's developing that? KOTOR remake. Aspire Media has worked on no fewer than 17 Star Wars titles, with the latest KOTOR remake being the 18th. Huh? Interesting. Aspire Media. Hang on. Aspire Media games made. Have they made all this? Oh, then the KOTOR remake. We don't have to be worried then. It's made by they made Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast 2 or whatever, Force Unleashed, Jedi Academy, Republic Commando, the original KOTOR.
Republic Commando
Guitar
still holds up.
I agree. I completely agree. I still really enjoy that game. I think Republic Commando does still hold up. The original Battlefronts do pretty decent too, as well.
They're definitely dated now, but if you mod, like I was saying before, if you mod them, it's like a brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and KOTOR got, or not
day.
KOTOR, Republic Commando got ported to the Switch and stuff just not that long ago too. So that's kind of cool. Even if it's an older game, I mean, that is.
It plays
cool.
pretty good on there. I ended up buying it.
Yeah. So Overwatch 2 had a closed beta recently. I know a couple people who might have tried it, but I guess some people are like upset because it looks a lot like the first game, just like
Isn't
reskinned.
it basically the first game?
King's Row is a day map. That's terrible.
Is what?
It's a day map in Overwatch 2 beta. It's terrible.
A date map? Wait, what do you mean?
Day map.
Day map. Oh, yeah. That's what people are getting upset over because it looks exactly the same, essentially, as the first game.
Yeah, the night maps are day maps, and the day maps are like evening maps or something. It's weird.
So
lazy.
Yeah. So it looks the same.
There's a lot of weird stuff floating around about Overwatch 2, wasn't it? They were trying to make it so that if you buy Overwatch 2, you could play with people from the first game. That was kind of floating around there for a while. I didn't understand
That'd
that.
be weird.
I think that was the original plan. I don't think they're going to be doing that anymore.
I was gonna say, because then it'd just be the same game.
Yeah, what would be the point in owning the second game then?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't get it. It truly would be a reskin then. Then it'd be like a waste of time and effort. Isn't the sequel? Is it supposed to have like a story or something in there? Yeah.
I've only played it like twice. I couldn't tell you.
And I played the first one for like 20, 30 hours, something like that. And then I was like, I don't know. Kind of over this.
600 something hours here.
Jeez. So, what I do like about Overwatch 2, at least, is the characters, they're not just their like cosmetics or something, but like they have like unlockables or something. I don't know. It's better than what the first game did with like where you just choose the character and there you go. Like they have like different stuff that you can do with them
Skins?
now. No, not just skins. They have like a different section of stuff. I don't want to say abilities. It might be abilities. I don't know, but there's more to it than the first game. But yeah, I just know that people are like, this looks exactly like the first game. Why? I mean, I get it's just a beta, but still, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe there's more characters and stuff that makes the game better, but it looks to me like it's a lot like the first game. And not for so many years after the first game, like it's been like 7 years or something since Overwatch 1, 6 years, I don't know, it's been a while. I mean,
Yeah.
you would think that Overwatch 2 they would do like way better, but I don't know, it was just closed beta and I didn't watch a whole lot on it, so I don't know, there's not really much for me to say on it, you know. So speaking of NFTs, the NFT market is collapsing.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. Funny because Square Enix just invested into NFTs and all that, and the market's actually declining for the NFTs and cryptocurrency and all that nonsense. So it's like,
Yeah.
Hmm?
That NFT junk is ridiculous to me from the beginning, but
it-
whatever.
yeah, like what's the point? Cameron, you look like you got something to say about NFTs.
I was just gonna quote a meme. It's not important.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The memes and stuff. Yeah. It's funny. Actually, let me see if I can find a thing on that because I didn't have. All right. Collapse. I feel like there's a. Bitcoin prices crashed by 50% in 6 months. NFT sales stagnate.
Good.
It is good. It goes to show this isn't what people want. Because the thing is like, if stuff like this is the future of gaming, then gaming is in trouble. Like, we don't want this.
Yeah, it's like Konami quitting making video games and making pachinko machines.
Yeah.
Because that's what we asked for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, we don't want single player games anymore. Why do we want that? We only want multiplayer only. That way, when our console crashes or our internet crashes or certain companies crash, we can't even play video games anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
Sounds right.
Like, we don't want multiplayer only game. Multiplayer is fun and awesome and stuff, but like, you gotta have that single player experience sometimes too, whether it be old or new games or whatever. You always gotta have that.
Yeah.
It's like you look at
That
games.
is the downside to it, yep.
And you look at games like God of War and Spider-Man and stuff, these big, giant Elden Ring, for instance, which is, yeah, it has multiplayer as an option, but like, they have sold so many copies, and that's because the experience is just really, really good. Elden Ring, I did not expect to blow up as much as it did, but it just became this global phenomenon of a game because it's a really good open world experience that changes gaming as a whole, and companies should learn from it that if you make a really, really good game, it's gonna sell well, and it could blow up and be more popular. It could be a big surprise, you know? And it's kind of something that, like, it worries me sometimes that gaming as a whole, I think it's good that, and here's the thing, it's cool that Microsoft and Sony are like buying companies and stuff, but as long as we have multiple companies outside of them, obviously due to monopoly purposes and stuff, they can't own everything. I think the most powerful company in the world obviously is Disney. They've gotten away with so much. Like, I don't know how they bought Fox, like, because they already owned a lot before that. It's kind of insane. But when it comes to gaming, I think it's super good that we have all these different companies and stuff that are outside of Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, because if let's say the big three decided to make these terrible, stupid business decisions, yeah, they'd probably lose money and maybe learn from it, but let's say they did that, we have all these other gaming companies that we can go off of, and they'll
The indie
probably
groups and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
indies especially to support, and they would make more money than the big companies if they started being the companies that make the great single player games or whatever. Like Kena Bridge of Spirits, for instance, last year won best indie game of the year because it was just a really, really amazing indie game. Like, they got some money, some of these indie companies, they definitely do, for good big budget games. And then Sifu, that came out a few months ago, I didn't play it, but like, it looked really, really good, and that was an indie game. Like, it's awesome. You know?
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, the indie market is huge right now. That's what I'm paying attention to.
And speaking of indie market,
That's all I really care about.
Yeah, there's a indie Nintendo Direct tomorrow as well. I don't know what all they'll show, but probably that Ninja Turtles indie game or collection or whatever. That's one thing that seemed pretty cool, and there'll probably be some other neat indie stuff in there. I don't know. Indie developers is always something that's cool to support. You know, supporting the indies because they
As long as they make a good product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, there's not a ton of indie games that I own, but I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there that sell really, really well. So
There is.
in other news, there's more rumors on a game getting a remake, remaster, whatever, that was really popular. That was a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know. I mean, it keeps no, not the Final Fantasy 9, but Bloodborne. Yeah, because there's constant rumors on Bloodborne getting a remake or whatever. Yeah, the game's only 8 years old currently.
It's 8 years old. I thought it was like pretty new.
Wait a minute.
Bloodborne
No,
seemed
it's
pretty
6.
new to me.
I think it's
but-
6. It came out in
Okay.
2016, 15 or 16. So yeah,
That's fair.
it's like at least 6 years old, 6 or 7
I
years
mean,
old.
they remade Demon Souls, and that's what 2009. No,
Was it?
before that maybe. Might have been like 2007 or around there, but I thought it was 2009.
Yeah, and
Bloodborne was 2015.
okay. So yeah, it's
Yeah, so it's
it's already 7 years old. So yeah, I could see it a couple more years from now or whatever. Yeah. And that was another thing I was going to bring up is Blue Point Games being the ones to do the remake because they did the Demon Souls remake. They did really, really good with that. Like, if you compare the graphics of Elden Ring versus Demon Souls Remake actually looks better. And Elden Ring's a newer game, but that's because From Software didn't create the remake of Demon Souls. They only made the original. Blue Point Games are really good with remakes, and they did that remake, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And it truly was a really, really solid like PS5 launch title to launch the PS5 with. What are you looking into, Sean?
It's the thing about Bloodborne, and it starts talking about as the Supreme Court's prepare to overturn Roe v. Wade, playing Bloodborne. I'm like, what?
What? Okay, I don't know.
How does that cross go over?
People have been asking for even a PC port of the game for so long. Like, just anything, something. Even they could even just do a port of the PS4 version for PS5 with 60 FPS and all that, and people would be happy. Like, I'd be happy. Like,
Bloodborne.
yeah. Like there's just constant rumors for that game to get a remake of some kind or a remaster for PS5 or porting it to PC in some kind of way, but for some reason they haven't done it yet. And so many people are asking for it, so like it'd make them good money. It would make them really good money. A lot of people, that's like one of their favorite games is Bloodborne. So I mean, yeah, there's always talk on Bloodborne getting a remake. I don't know. Next month's gonna be crazy though, because we have a 90-minute Xbox Bethesda show. We have the Summer Game Fest, and that's in the same week. Basically Friday or Thursday's Summer Game Fest, and then Sunday's the Xbox Bethesda show. Rumors are ramping up that we're getting a Nintendo Direct next month of some kind as well, and then we might end up getting some form of a PlayStation event of some kind. I can only imagine as well next month. It'd be either next month or in July. I don't know if it'll be too close to like E3 time, but like, yeah, E3 is canceled, but like there's still everyone's doing their own thing around that time. That's why I'm wondering about like Ubisoft and EA and such, if they're like gonna do something as well. Not that I haven't played a Ubisoft game since Watch Dogs 2, I think I played Watch Dogs 2.
It was at least entertaining.
Yeah, I didn't play the newest.
I put a lot of time into it.
I didn't play the latest one. The first one.
I tried it out. So you know that Ubisoft thing that they're trying to do, you could like stream games over like an Amazon
I think,
Fire TV or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
I tried streaming Legion over that, and it's the most boring game I've played in a long time. It's not
Oh.
super great.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The driving's really bad too for some reason. It's like they got it good in the second one, and then they absolutely bombed in the third one.
Cameron, what's the last Ubisoft game you played?
Name any Assassin's Creed game. A few months
Yeah,
ago, I did
Oh.
a playthrough of the
Right,
entire
right.
series.
Assassin's Creed. My bad. The last game from Ubisoft I did play was Assassin's Creed Origins. Yeah, Origins. I didn't play Odyssey. I own it, and I haven't even. I touched it like for 5 minutes or something, and that was it.
It's Assassin's Creed.
The newest Ubisoft game I've played was Valhalla.
A lot of people. played Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
A lot of people. played it.
That's the last one I played, I think, too.
I'll be honest. Valhalla is my favorite Assassin's Creed game.
Didn't they take a year off for Valhalla between Odyssey and Valhalla?
Yeah, and they
think.
also did the same thing between Syndicate and Origins.
Yeah, which is good because when they do that, I feel like Assassin's Creed can be better. But
Yeah.
supposedly there's going to be an ending to Assassin's Creed at some point, but I don't know. And wasn't there a different company that wanted to do like buy Assassin's Creed or something?
I don't know.
Either that or someone was thinking about buying Ubisoft, which would probably be PlayStation, but I don't think PlayStation's going to like buy both Ubisoft and Square Enix, obviously. Due to monopoly purposes, they can only buy so much. Granted, the Microsoft thing with both Bethesda and them buying Blizzard Activision, which that one is huge. Blizzard Activision, like, it's still crazy to me that they spent what $70 billion to buy that. Like, it's insane.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's rumors that
It might not.
Sony or Microsoft might buy Ubisoft.
Very interesting. It's interesting because like Sony, we don't know what they're gonna buy yet. Because now there's rumors they're buying Square Enix. There's rumors apparently for Ubisoft, and there's also rumors of From Software. Because I say From Software because Bloodborne was exclusive, and so was Demon Souls. So I mean, they have a good relationship with From Software as well, Sony. So it's like they can only buy so much for it to be even allowed. Heck, the Microsoft acquisition for Blizzard Activision might not even go through. We don't know yet. It has to go through a bunch of senators and different stuff to get approval for the game, for that acquisition to even go through. I think it will, but it's like it I think they said it's not going to go through completely for like a couple years or something still. It's still going to be a while before like the acquisition is like finished, just because how much money that is to buy Blizzard Activision and all that. So, I don't know. They're getting weary on that kind of stuff for whatever reason. I guess due to game power. I don't know. But they let Disney buy Fox, and that was a huge deal back when they bought that. Like, realistically, Disney could have just went to Fox and, like, bought the Fantastic Four and X-Men because, you know, they were sold from Marvel back in the day to Fox. But no, they wanted the whole company. Like, jeez.
Yeah, buy one part, might as well buy it all.
I guess if you can get away with it, yeah. I don't know if Disney will ever be able to.
They don't care.
Yeah, no kidding.
They bought Marvel. They bought friggin' everything. So.
Final Fantasy 16 is near completion, and there is apparently a trailer that's like ready to go, but we won't see it probably until June. So my guess is at Summer Game Fest. Either that or Sony does their own thing. So that's pretty exciting. It's near completion. It's in its final stages, which is cool. I mean, me and Sean are big on Final Fantasy. Sean's played like every single one of them. I really need to start playing them.
Since the beginning.
I honestly, in a way, have thought about starting to play, like, starting at the first one and just kind of, even though I'm not big on turn-based, I feel like I could probably maybe do it. I don't know. I've only played 10, 7 Remake, a little of 8.
Dude, you gotta play 3.
15, and I think that was it. Yeah, see, I haven't.
You gotta play
obviously,
3.
I've played the Kingdom Hearts games, too. Marshall, have you played any Final Fantasy before?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that? Yeah, about like what
I don't
ones?
like them at all.
Yeah,
They're like insufferable for me. I can't stand them.
that's
But
fair. I
I
mean, I
understand why
wasn't.
people like them.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't have like anything against them, but I don't like the gameplay. I can't follow the story. I don't know.
Of like any of
Not
them,
for
like
me.
even if they're not turn-based, because I wasn't big on the turn-based aspect, and that's why I never really got into them until they stopped with like turn-based stuff.
When they came
But
out with Dissidia on the PSP or whatever it was,
hmm,
I tried playing that one, which was like more like a fighting game. It felt like anyway.
hmm.
I still didn't really care for it.
Okay, I gotcha.
It's not really
Cameron,
not really
have
my
you
thing.
played any Final Fantasy stuff before? Nope. Straight
Yeah.
up, nope. Differs on the person and all when it comes to that. So, I mean, Sean, you might care about this more than me because I haven't played it nearly as much, and I know they haven't played it probably at all. But Genshin Impact, I guess, um is still in development. The devs say for the Switch, Genshin is still in development for the Switch. So I guess
I do PlayStation anyway for that one, so
that's what I mean. I mean, there's people out there who obviously it's important to them playing portable and stuff, but like if you're
true,
like
true.
us, I mean, we don't play portable anything much, really. I mean, you never touch your Switch, anyways. And when I play my Switch, it's basically always docked. It's not like I really take it. I never take it really
Right
anywhere.
there.
Did I
Yeah,
go get my handheld collection?
by all means, go for it. Let's see.
No,
Oh,
there's too many. I actually
really?
that's all I play is like portable stuff. Yeah, because I'm working all
Oh,
the time.
oh, I gotcha.
Oh, yes, I'm
I
my Game Gear.
I have a little portable section over by my bed next to it. I have my Game Boy Color, my original Game Boy, my SP, my Advance, and my 3DS XL over there, with
Yeah,
like my Game Boy games and such, which is cool. I mean, I started collecting them again, and getting into it again, and like the market for handheld games and stuff has gone up as well in the last couple of years, especially DS games. Certain DS games have skyrocketed only because everything that happened and then the Pokemon craze and stuff like, and DS games aren't being made anymore, so they're starting to go up in price depending on the games.
I like to modify the handhelds and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like I have a Vita. I have a Vita with like over 500 games on it. It's like
That's neat.
Nice.
a ridiculous amount of games that no one will ever complete. But I
Hmm.
like to modify the crap out of hardware like that.
Yeah, I've never owned a Vita, to be honest. I've thought about buying one and making like a YouTube video on it, but I don't know.
Don't. I'll put it this way: don't buy a Vita if you're just going to use it like stock. I mean, the PlayStation Store is completely removed from it now. You can't
Oh
even
yeah,
use
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And games are outrageously expensive. If you're not
Hmm.
cracking it and like soft modding it,
Mm.
it's not worth buying one at this point.
I gotcha. Yeah, wasn't it? It was the PS3 store that the people got mad and then they kept it. They didn't keep the Vita store too.
Well, they did for a while, but I just tried to go on it the other day on my Vita, and
Hmm.
it just disconnects from the server.
Jeez. Hmm.
Yeah. No, that what happened, I think, was people were buying up a bunch of games
Hmm. Oh yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
preparation for it being taken down. Yeah,
Hmm.
so they saw that the sales were going way up, so they
Mhm.
kept them open for a while, but I think they finally started to crack down on it.
Jeez.
But
Yeah.
I download all my stuff illegally. So
Yeah. Sean still
yeah.
knows you there. He's done plenty of
Yeah.
that.
No,
For
that's
sure.
sometimes that's the only way to do it. At least
Mm.
the kind of games that I play anymore, it's like
Or
the
emul
preservation aspect is there. Yeah.
or like emulators and such.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
That's a big deal right now, yeah, because the preservation aspect is huge. Because companies don't really care, like especially Nintendo, they're not putting an effort into preserving their old stuff all that
Oh no.
well.
Yeah. Especially now considering next year the Nintendo eShop store on the DS is going no more. I think that's next
Yeah.
year. And the Wii U even, which I mean that's not surprising because the Wii U was such a big failure compared to the DS and compared to any other Nintendo console really. The Wii U was just like yeah, it was basically a prequel to what the Switch is and its success, but the Wii U store dying is whatever, but the DS, it's like, man, that sucks, because the 3DS, like, there's so many games out there, and the thing is like, Nintendo doesn't care compared to PlayStation. Like, people can constantly complain, and they're gonna get rid of the stores anyway, because Nintendo are completely different the way that they work, and they're gonna just get rid of their stores anyway. There's no way that they're gonna say no. They're not gonna change their minds. The DS and Wii U stores are gonna go down, and there's gonna be games on there that we'll never see again in our lives, because there are digital only games out there that, unfortunately, once they're gone, they're just gone. They, like, legal downloads of them will be gone forever, which that's a shame.
How she
for something
goes.
like that. Yeah, it's a shame for stuff like that. Speaking of Nintendo, the Switch has sold over 100 million consoles now, 107 million in just over 5 years. And since it's not a 5-year system, clearly it'll probably be maybe 7 or 8 years, because I'm assuming we're going to get some kind of upgraded Switch at some point. My guess is next year, hopefully. But really impressive. They've sold over 100 million units in just over 5 years for the Switch. I mean, it's got so many games. I mean, first party, third party developers, like the Wii U days.
You notice? Yeah, I want to ask all you guys. I always notice this and wonder what other people think of this. Have you ever looked on the Nintendo eShop for the Switch and noticed how many awful, like, indie games there are on there?
There's
that
a lot.
Just like flood the store.
There's a lot
There's
of
so many.
trash on there. There's a lot of bad stuff on there for sure.
It gets to the point where you can't find like any first party games sometimes. Like, you're having to scroll through this long list of just junk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are they letting that on their system?
I don't
like
know.
that?
I don't know. There's a game recently that someone found, like, the weirdest game on the Nintendo eShop for the Switch, and it's like something similar to like Honey Pop, and it's like really, really strange, but like a stranger kind of deal. I don't know. I don't know if they're getting rid of it or not, but like some of the stuff doesn't make sense. But overall, the Switch, like, the idea of a console, but it's on the go, what the Wii U should have been, was a good idea, and it works for them. So I feel like, because they've done a Switch every 2 years, and all three of them have sold really well, even the OLED, which we were hoping was going to be like the Pro or whatever. Because it's been every 2 years, I think next year, which will be another 2 years since the OLED, I am hoping that next year is when the Switch Pro will be of some kind that's 4K on the TV, 1080p in handheld. I think the OLED apparently is 1080 in handheld, but that's just because it's an OLED model, so that's not surprising for that. But 4K, like they need 4K. They need, and I made a little video on the Pro. It's like they need 4K. They need a chatting system of some kind without having to use your dang phone. That's just a stupid, dumb idea. Even being able to message your friends, like, you could message your friends in some kind of way on the DS. You can't even do that in 2022 on a Nintendo system.
Yeah,
like, it's like,
that's why I was always disappointed by the Switch. I like the Switch, and I have a Switch Lite right now that I'm using, but there's so many missing basic features that they just didn't bother to introduce. So
they don't even. I don't even think they. I don't think they added Discord. I don't think they did. There was rumors before, and they didn't add Discord. It's like they could have at least done that for chat.
Yeah.
Right now it's just trash.
The fact that you have to use Discord on your computer or whatever to be able to chat with people while you're on your Nintendo console, or chat through your PlayStation or something with people on PlayStation while playing Nintendo with them or whatever. It's just, it doesn't feel right for the age we're in. For the age we're in, it just doesn't make any sense. So if the Nintendo Switch Pro, like, is just a small upgrade with like 4K and other very minor features and not stuff that people have asked for, that's gonna be heavily disappointing. Because, like, Nintendo, I get they have a hard time getting with the times and everything, but it's like, come on, Nintendo, like, it's not, it can't be that hard. It can't be that hard to implement certain things that are in Xbox and PlayStation. You know, it can't be that difficult.
Yeah, basic stuff. Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Kyoto. I mean, come on, the technology is there. Just do something with it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Kyoto. I mean,
Really, the headquarters is in Kyoto, so I mean, it's just you're there. There's technology there. They're ahead of things half the time, so just do something.
for real.
You know?
Cameron, what do you think? I know you don't want to Switch, but I don't know if you thought about getting one or anything. But like, seriously.
I've thought about getting one, but preferably one with a dock on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Switch, it's a really cool console. The fact that they put games like the Wolfenstein, not like the old Wolfenstein games, but like the newer Wolfenstein games, and then
And
of
Doom.
course the newer Doom games. Yeah, that's really impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
They run like garbage, but
Yeah, they still.
but still,
they're
it's impressive.
awful. Don't play Doom 2016 on the Switch. It's like it's not a frame rate issue.
Are you saying Eternal runs better on the Switch than Doom 2016? Because that
It
game's
does.
even that game's even faster. You would think that it would
It's because it's the optimization. It's so poorly optimized. The Doom 2016 port, it's so bad. It's not the frame rate. What I noticed is it's like they have the frame rate capped at 30, which is appropriate for that. But it's so blurry. Like the textures can't render in fast enough to match the 30 FPS. So it just becomes like a blur as you're moving around.
That makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. It's really confusing to play, yeah.
And that's another thing too, is like we got the Steam Deck, right? No, none of us own it, obviously. We don't need it if we have a computer and stuff. We don't like. I mean, maybe you down the line, Marshall, because you know you.
I'm
like
waiting
you said,
for the. Yeah, I'm waiting for the third model, which is like
Okay.
the 512 gig SSD in it with like the etched glass screen. They haven't even built those yet.
I heard they're kind of hard to
still
get
waiting.
one too. I heard it's hard to get hold of a Steam Deck as well. But I was gonna say Nintendo really should like go off the ass. Look at the specs of the Steam Deck. You know, look at the specs and how it works, and build off of that for your next Switch. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to make games in handheld run better, look better visually, run even. I'd be impressed if they would go 60 FPS in handheld mode. Does the Steam Deck go over 60 in handheld? Do you know?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. That's really impressive. That's very impressive.
On medium settings, I think.
That's
You'd have to
very
watch like a
impressive.
Linus Tech Tip video on it, but yeah, it can.
That's nuts for the Steam Deck to be able to run over 60 FPS in handheld mode. Like that's really impressive, and I think Nintendo could easily go 60 FPS in handheld and in docked,
Yeah.
or even in docked going up to 120 frames.
That tech is still kind of, it's not like super common. Like not every game's gonna run in 60 on like the Steam Deck, but there's a lot of games that definitely can. I think it's optimization is the key thing, and I think some companies do it good and some just don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I heard Elden Ring runs really good on the Steam Deck. See Sean.
Yeah, it's tricky because I remember hearing that people tried to get Elden Ring to run on the Steam Deck on like the whatever model has been sent out so far, and it didn't even boot up for a while. But they might have updated it, so that'd be cool.
Sean, do you see anything on it?
Let's see here. Where was I? Where's my specs at? 7-inch, 60 hertz, 1280 by 800. 4-core, 8-thread, AMD Zen 2 CPU.
That's impressive for a handheld. Seriously.
The graphics has an 8-core AMD RDNA 2 graphics with 1 gig of memory on it. Has 16 gigs of DDR2 RAM. Wow, this thing actually kicks pretty well.
Yeah, something in handheld like that. It's
The smallest one at 64 gig is $400 currently.
And granted,
the 512 gig is $650.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going for.
And granted, like Nintendo they're probably already working on a new Switch, but like
Hopefully.
yeah, but like I said, they can take advantage of Steam right now, the Steam Deck completely, and see what specs it has. And sure, the Switch, like Nintendo, they're not using like PC specs because you know Steam Deck is made by the people who own Steam and all that, so it's like totally
Well,
different.
they need to at least stay up with everyone else to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's funny because the Nintendo Switch. Okay, the Nintendo Switch is now the I think fifth highest selling console of all time. So, okay,
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that makes sense.
it's officially outsold the Wii and the PlayStation 1. It only has 4 more to beat to be the highest selling console of all time, which are the PS4, which has 116 million. I think it'll easily beat that. Game Boy and Game Boy Color at 118 million. I think it could do that depending on how long its lifespan is. Nintendo DS is 154 million and the PS2 is 155 million. So I don't think it's going to beat those unless this is a 10-year console with like the Pro and all that. Unless the Switch is actually a 10-year console, then I don't know if I can see it becoming like #1 top selling console, but it might become in top 3. I could see it being in 3rd.
Sure. I mean, it's basically a portable Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the specs that it kind of has in a way. So
Mhm.
it's in its own right, it is pretty impressive. But I think for the times, it doesn't quite match up. I guess that's the bummer about it. But
Yeah.
it's still nice to have. Like, there's some cool ports on there
Yeah.
from like that era, like the Xbox 360 and stuff like that.
Mhm.
What was I playing the other day on the Switch? It was Red Faction Guerrilla. I don't know if you guys remember that game.
I don't.
Yeah, so it was like the first Red Faction games were like a first person shooter early on, but then Guerrilla came around. It was like a third person, like building destruction sort of game. It had like really cool physics in it, and they ported it to the Switch, and it runs great.
Oh,
So it's cool to have something like that.
all your older games and stuff on the Switch run really good.
Oh yeah,
It's just that newer ones that have all them issues and such. But I mean, it's got a lot of third-party support, and that's really what helped carry the console. I mean, its first-party games are far better than the Wii U era, which is cool too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Smash Bros. Ultimate, your Mario Party, your Animal Crossing, like games like that sell like crazy. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, most Switch owners own that game because I mean, it was one of a really good open world game, a really good open world RPG game, and it's getting a sequel. And I mean, the sequel's gonna sell like crazy. No doubt, it's gonna sell a ton like day one because how good the first one was as a launch title for the Switch, and it was on Wii U, but nobody owns a Wii U anymore, and those who did, I mean, the console still didn't sell very well. I had one at one point, and then once all the games from there were essentially ported to the Switch, I sold it because there was no reason to own a Wii U. There was no reason to own it. I mean, unless you're like a huge collector or something, there's no reason to own a Wii U. There just isn't a reason,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's happened a lot throughout the years, where they would put out I don't know. They would put out a variant of a console or something, and or like an upgraded version. Then it's like, well, now you just made your last one completely irrelevant, even though it's not that old. So yeah, I'm not sure why companies do that, but
Money, money, money.
yeah, I mean, in the terms of the Switch, it made sense because the Switch is night and day compared to the Wii U.
Oh,
But
easy.
when you look at like the different PlayStation 3s, it's like you didn't really have to make.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it didn't really
Yeah,
change
ain't
much.
Too many, yeah. Whereas like the PS4 to PS4 Pro, I mean, you go from this double thing to hamburger, and I mean, technology-wise, it was at least better. Like it could run 4K and such compared to the base PS4. That's why I'm like, people who are gonna play God of War Ragnarok on the base PS4, their PS4 is gonna explode. Like,
Oh yeah, do you remember how loud those fans were on the old PS4? Oh man,
dude, yeah.
that was rough. Yeah.
Yeah,
bad.
mine was burning up, man. Even the Pro gets really hot. Like, the Pro even with air, and that's the good thing about the PS5 is like they fixed the heating issue. Like the PS5 doesn't
That's
get
cool.
nearly as hot, and it has better airflow than any of the PS4s did, which is really good, very good about the PS5 because like a lot of people either had overheating issues with the PS4, even the PS4 Pro in some ways, or what else with the PS4? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I just know I had heating issues and stuff. As for Xbox,
Mine would turn on at 4 a.m. and try to update, and trying to update, it sounded like a jet engine. I thought a plane was going overhead sometimes. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
My friend Xbox still does that now. It'll
Yeah,
randomly turn itself on continuously.
Base Xbox One. Yeah, I had a base Xbox One before until I got my Series X, thankfully. Thank goodness I have that. I have the Halo Edition. I got pure luck getting that. I don't even know how I got that. But my base Xbox One, when I had it, it would constantly turn itself on, like, every day that it was... Like, for, like, a year, because I wasn't using it, I was using... Because I just didn't want to. I wanted to wait till I got a Series X to play games again on the Xbox, because, like, base Xbox Ones aren't anything special, really. Unless you get like a Xbox One X or S or whatever one it is. The base Xbox One from 2013, like if you compare the base Xbox One to the base PS4, base PS4 definitely was better. I think when it came to just performance, I guess, even though it had a heating problem. But Xbox One, I don't understand why the base Xbox One likes to turn itself on by itself for no reason all the time. Like, there was last weekend, I had Sean here over, and I look at my phone, it says that he's online on Xbox. I'm like, you're online? He's like, my Xbox turned on by itself, clearly.
Keeps doing it.
It's so dumb. Like, even if you have it up to date, even, it's silly. What, Cameron?
In terms of noise on the PS4, I've noticed... No, my phone's going. I used to have mine sitting on top of my dresser that I used to have, and of course it was super noisy. And then before it was on just a table, not very much airflow in the back, and it was also noisy. But now I have it on a kind of like a metal grate kind of shelf, and even with the PS3 sitting directly on top of it, it's actually very quiet. I mean, the PS3 is still noisy as hell, but the PS4, I have the PS4 Pro. It's actually very quiet.
Yeah, as long as it has good airflow, it can be decent. Unless you're running like a very high performance game and play for like an hour straight or something, then the PS4 Pro has a decent sound to it. It's not like it's about to blow up your house or something, you know.
Give it time.
Yeah. What was I gonna say here? Oh yeah, Halo Infinite. I mentioned we talked about this a little last week. Its player base is still continuously like going down a slippery slope, even though season 2 has officially came out. I don't know what else to say about Halo Infinite other than the fact that it's very disappointing. The campaign's good. Campaign was awesome. I did everything 100%. Great open world, fun game. I look forward to more campaign DLC. It might have came with some. I don't know. I haven't revisited it yet. But
it has cat ears.
Yeah, what?
It has cat ears.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's just they didn't add what people wanted yet. And even when season 3 comes around and adds co-op campaign and certain things people are asking for, it might be too late to really bring everyone back. They want the game to last like 5 to 10 years or something. They want Halo Infinite to last like a really long time. They don't plan on making another Halo game for many years because they want this to be the Halo game, but it's not the Halo.
They're never going to put out another Halo 3. I mean, I don't know why they feel the need to do that. I mean, I still haven't played Halo Infinite yet. The campaign looks fun. It looks like a really enjoyable campaign just to mess around.
It
in
is.
the sandbox.
It's absolutely. It's for sure the best campaign since 3. When it comes to Master Chief, it's definitely the best one since 3 for sure.
Oh, I mean, Halo 4 and 5 were like.
Yeah, we don't talk about 5 at least. 4 is not bad, but it's not as good as 1 through 3. But 5 is just.
I remember when 4 came out. That was rough.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
That was disappointing.
5 was even worse.
Yeah.
5, it's like you don't even play as Master Chief for over half the game. Like, that's not the Halo we bought. You know, it's not. I mean.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the Master Chief show, not the army dude's other guy's show. I don't know. But yeah, season 2 is The player base is still low. It didn't bring many people back. It might have for a day or two, maybe. Maybe it boosted and then went back down. It's not Battlefield 2042 bad, but like, it's still not. Yeah, Marshall. How about Battlefield 2042?
All I have to say is thankfully I have not really bought any newer games because I know that they're all going to be a dumpster fire day one. It just why I don't know why that is, but
Unless it's Elden
I
Ring.
look at like you're right but that's like a whole different story. But these games made by like EA and stuff, like they put out the release trailer, it looks great. It's like, hey, maybe they'll bring it back because I like Battlefield 2, and what was the
You mean Battlefront 2? Or...
No, I'm talking about
Okay.
the old Battlefield games. So when I saw that, what's the new one? Is it 2142 or 2042?
2042.
I'm pretty sure there was one called 2142. And this looked like a sequel to it in a way. And I was like, oh, maybe they're going to bring it back and it'll be like the classic Battlefield. And then I saw people playing it, like streaming it, and it was like the worst thing imaginable.
Yeah, people are going
like
back to
boxes don't work. Yeah.
Battlefield 5 has a big player base right now because everyone left 2042 after a horrible launch. Everyone's like, we're gonna go back and play this other Battlefield that's actually a decent game, which is sad.
Yeah, Battlefield 5 was okay, I guess. 4, I didn't play it, but people seem to like it a lot. So I think people have gone back to that one too, Battlefield 4.
See, I really liked Battlefield 1.
People did.
Yeah, I think
that was a great game.
It seemed like it turned out really good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
See, my thing is like, EA is so stupid to cancel Battlefront 2 content, to make this dumpster fire of a Battlefield they thought would be good, and they didn't delay it. This game could have been made actual sense to release. And now they're trying to fix the game. They're trying to bring back a player base, but the game still has too many bugs. It still does.
Yeah.
And it's like Battlefront 2. They fixed it. They made the game halfway decent. They should have kept going. It's like...
Yeah. Dennis, have you played Instant Action? It's not in multiplayer for some reason, but in single player, have you played the new... I guess you call it the new Instant Action?
I don't think I did.
You gotta try it, because it actually feels like a remake of the original games, but like modern, and it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
just playing capturing command posts and just
vehicles,
whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
I did that. Yeah,
I don't know why it wasn't like that when it released. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it should have been. It took them 2 years for the game to become something actually pretty halfway decent, and I was upset that they canceled content, because I was like ready for Ahsoka to be in there. I was ready for more Clone Wars stuff from the Clone Wars era of the cartoons and stuff to be in the game, because it was teased, and it just was like, oh, yep, EA is canceling this because they're going to go to a new Battlefield. And now, speaking of EA with DICE is apparently officially starting to make another new Battlefield because 2042's failure. Like...
Sure, why not? We'll get another one going. Screw it.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, just let DICE do a Battlefront 3. Like, that's what I say. Just let DICE do a Battlefront.
We already had Battlefront 3 canceled once. We don't need a second one.
Yeah, honestly.
So,
but they're probably going to make DICE just stick to Battlefield right now. And EA is doing their own thing with Star Wars as well, because they still haven't lost the license. Thankfully, it's shared now with Ubisoft, which I don't know how I feel about that. They're doing like an open world Star Wars game. Which could be good, but
I heard about that.
I mean, it's also Ubisoft, so it's a little sketchy. It could be good, could be meh. Like, I don't know. If it's like Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla and stuff, then it probably could be really great. But I don't know.
Have you guys talked about the new Lego Star Wars yet?
No, we haven't actually. I don't.
Oh, really?
I think it's pretty good. I have it.
I beat it. That's like the first new actual new game I played in a while, to be honest with you.
It's impressive. I'm impressed with it. It's not like not a complete remaster. It's an actual remake. That's a little bit different. I like the space combat. I really like the space combat.
Yeah, the space combat turned out really good, actually. I have there's ups and downs with it. So they tend to jump through parts of the story, which is fine. I remember in some of the older Lego games, it was really tedious to get through certain parts. Like, oh, why would they drag out this one movie moment for that was 30 seconds? Now it's 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
they tend to like they put things in that were really cool that you could experience in a game, but then they like skipped over like major parts of the movie out of nowhere. And there's a lot of bugs in the game. I think they fixed some of them, but a lot of the side missions in the open
Oh
world.
yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right
know what's
after I
you know
beat
what's
the
funny about
game-
the bugs? Actually, I played recently, and I haven't finished yet. I'm up to Return of the Jedi now, episode 6, and
Okay, you're not missing
in
much.
in episode 5, I got to Vader, and then he had like that small teeny bit of health left, and because I
Yeah.
wasn't on that specific alleyway where Luke gets his hand cut off, because I wasn't right
Yep.
there, the game bugged, and I switched. I turned on another controller to go to player 2 as R2D2. And went to hit him and stuff, and it was doing nothing. So I had to restart. Luckily, I didn't get rid of my progress of collecting all the whole money bar. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
I
there's
heard
some really funny bugs in that game that I've run into that I wish I had a Switch that I could dock so I could record it, because I've had some crazy bugs happen. A lot of times I replay that level in episode 4 to farm studs. And after you beat the game, cutscenes just don't work after that. So
Wow.
if you use a ship that isn't a TIE fighter, when it has it in the cutscene, you'll just see like thrusters, like engine thrusters fly by and no ship. So the cutscene will have like no ships in it. Yeah, it'll just be like fire flying around.
one of my buddies that was trying to get the platinum trophy. I guess he had gotten like all the mini kit pieces, and then it told he never got the trophy. Like he, I don't know. The game's like it's got its issues.
Yeah.
But Cameron, you say something?
It's not related to Lego Star Wars. I was gonna mention that
Lego Batman. I seen that you're playing.
I am playing Lego Batman, but I was gonna mention Skyrim achievements again. So I got the platinum trophy like last week. I was finishing getting all the DLC trophies. I could not get. I did eventually get it, but I could not get the last trophy where you had to build 3 houses, or build 3 wings on 3 houses, and I did that, and it didn't pop for a while. It took like 30 minutes before it actually
it's so
registered.
Weird. Some games it doesn't make sense. It's like when you transfer your game data from PS4 to PS5. Like there was one point when like the trophies didn't pop up for me or something when I transferred the data and had to do something specific in order for the trophies to appear. It was strange. It's those strange kind of things that it's like, okay, why? It's like in Pokemon, right? There's this Pokemon on the DS games called Inkay, and the only way to evolve it is you got to flip your DS upside down and as it's like about to evolve or something, and it will actually evolve. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what do these developers think in their heads? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're bored. Like, whatever. We'll try that one.
Try something different, I guess. What do we think of what kind of ideas of like a Marvel game would we like to see from the company that bought Crystal Dynamics? Any ideas on like a Marvel character a game that could be like cool? That'd be neat.
I wanted to bring back the Punisher and make a good Punisher game. Like the one from 2004 was good, but it's dated. I want it like a good Punisher game. That's what I
would love that. I would love that. Or I would love a Daredevil game. I mean, either or for me would be pretty cool. Someone mentioned Ant-Man game could be something neat. There could be unique combat there since you can shrink and grow, since you can get big and small. I don't know. There could be some unique combat with that, I guess. Going from place to place, going down in the sewer lines and stuff, fighting giant animals or giant bugs and stuff, and when you're big, like smashing cars and stuff. I don't know. In a way, it could be like I feel like there's a cool GTA mod for Ant-Man or something. That'd be like those neat kind of aspects that could be a cool game. I don't know. Cameron, you got any ideas of like a Marvel character that'd have like a cool game? You know, that'd be neat. Nothing.
Gambit.
Not a Marvel one. I would like to see a newer Judge Dredd game.
Oh yeah.
That could be something interesting.
Yeah. I still watch the was it 2009?
Oh, the one with I forget his name.
Yeah,
Sean, what's his name?
I always forget his name too.
I don't remember the actor's
He
name.
played a good.
He's in Lord of the
he played a good
Rings.
Judge
He was
Dredd,
in
though.
he was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that guy. Shit, what is his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I think
wish
Dr.
they would have made a sequel.
Yeah. I think Doctor Strange could have a unique game, too. I don't know. Just unique combat. I'm just looking at the unique aspect. It's funny because the Avengers game actually had leaks a while ago that Doctor Strange and, like, Scarlet Witch were going to come to the game or whatever, but who knows? No idea anymore.
You
No
know,
idea anymore, especially...
You kind of make a good point with Doctor Strange. You know, it's funny. I'm not a big superhero guy. Most of the movies come off really cheesy. It's like a theme park ride to me. But the first Doctor Strange movie, I actually kind of enjoyed watching it. I saw it on like a whim with a buddy, and I was like, that wasn't bad. I actually kind of enjoyed that movie.
It was good. Yeah. And I know some people aren't heavy on Marvel, obviously, because, they've been making these movies for years. There's so many Marvel movies, so many characters, so many things, and some people get sick of the kind of stuff, and it really just depends. It's hit or miss, depending on the person, Like me, I love most of Marvel because I'm a huge Marvel junkie. Sean's seen Doctor Strange today. He really enjoyed it. I'm not seeing it till this weekend, so...
goodness, there's so much gonna happen.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, when it comes to Marvel games, I hope them owning Crystal Dynamics, they make good stuff better than what Square did. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy made up for Avengers, and Square Enix learned from that with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's an amazing game. Like if you're into the Spider-Man games, I do recommend checking out the Guardians of the Galaxy game because it's just a really good single-player game. But, I mean, who knows what this company is going to do with Tomb Raider. I mean, there's a new one already in the works that's going to be in Unreal Engine 5. So, from what we know, none of that stuff is going to be changing. Like, the teams behind games that are already currently in development is not going to change. It's all going to be the same as it already was, which is cool. But they also gained 1,100 employees as well from Square Enix when they made that deal. So, I just am most curious on what's going to happen with Avengers, Because I want to know whether the game, I just want to know if they're going to keep the game going, refix the game, or end up the game being dead in, less than a year, and them canceling it, Because its player base is so low, they're not making money off it the way that they should be, so. I don't know.
I would like a Gambit or a Black Panther in a Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah,
I think that'd go pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Black Panther in Avengers was cool. Him having his own actual game with combat taking aspects of, the thing is, I think, Insomniac does things so well. They got this Spider-Man universe that just works. And they're making a freaking Wolverine game. And you know dang well it's going to be rated M for mature. And with how good Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales is, and then they got Spider-Man 2 coming before Wolverine, I guarantee you Wolverine's going to be so sick. And I don't know, I think they want to create their own universe there. But, I really, if you ask me, Insomniac should be the ones to make a Punisher game or a Daredevil game, because they would make it absolutely brutal. They're doing good with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, it's the best it could be for a video game nowadays. I think Wolverine's going to be awesome. It's going to be rated M for mature for sure. And based on its combat, based on the combat from Spider-Man, I think it's in good hands, a new Wolverine game. And I think that they should be the ones to do certain characters like Punisher or Daredevil to make a more mature game, because I feel like the people who bought Crystal Dynamics, I feel like they're better to do games for characters that aren't more mature. I don't know. That's just what I think.
You should do a Let's Play of X-Men Origins Wolverine, the movie, the game.
I heard that was really good. I heard that was a really good game, actually, surprisingly. I think
heard it
one,
was
right?
garbage.
Or maybe it was that one that was garbage. There was a Wolverine game that was really good.
Bad.
There was a Wolverine game that was really good, and I don't know what one it was. It wasn't that one, I don't think, but there was one that was good out there. I don't remember what one it was, though. But I guess there's a Wolverine game that was halfway decent. I don't know what one it was, though.
There were some interesting X-Men games over the years. I didn't really play them, but Like the PS2 ones were kind of interesting.
Yeah, the X-Men Legends 1 and 2. I think they should bring those back in a collection
Speaking about
bundle.
Nemesis, I'm thinking right. Was
Nemesis.
it like X-Men, like Marvel X-Men Nemesis or something like that?
I don't know if I played that or not,
It
but
might
I
have
played
been a
the
fighting game.
I played the Legends ones for sure. Which those were like Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
So yeah. So we got today actually. I might be the only one who at least seen this gameplay, but I actually watched it like an hour before podcast. Gotham Knights. We got new gameplay on. It's made by the people who made Batman Arkham Origins, so not the actual Arkham trilogy. I don't know if they've made a game since, but I don't know. I'm not really into it. I don't know. I'm more interested in what the company that made the actual Arkham trilogy are doing with the Suicide Squad game over Arkham Knights. It's only gonna be co-op. It's not gonna be 4-player, and the combat looks a little slower than what I kind of wanted, and I don't know. Anyone see it yet? Heard or seen anything on Gotham Knights?
I have not.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not for you guys anyway. It's a superhero game, but it's not like, I don't know. It'll probably sell well. It might be okay, but I feel like it's one of those games where I don't want to play it at full price. Maybe on sale, like half off. I might get it or something.
It's every game for me, so.
I'm at that point too. Sad to say.
That's fair. So yeah.
Oh, did you hear that EA Sports and FIFA have split?
Yeah. I forgot to put that on my list, actually. Yeah, that's interesting. They were together for like 30 years. EA and FIFA had split. Do you know why they split? Like, go to an article. I don't know why they split.
Let's see here. One of the most successful commercial relationships. Months of tense negotiations. Looks like contract redo issues.
Because you know dang well that EA is going to try their best to keep a hold of Madden. They don't deserve Madden at all, even though I'm not into sports games. They don't deserve Madden anymore at all. They almost lost it a couple of years ago because people were so angry because it was just a rehash of the year before. Same faces for the characters. Even in the stands, like, let's say it was 2020, it said 19 in the stands. Like, it's just...
lazy.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? Just a complete rehash of the same thing every year. And I guess every year the Madden games keep getting worse. Like, they barely add any new faces and stuff. They try bringing back modes from like 15 years ago or something, and it just doesn't work as the way it used to. Like,
I've never really played these games, but it's funny to like read about that and see videos of, because it's like, how do you get worse?
Yeah.
I've been making them for like 30 years.
Yeah, seriously.
It's so funny.
EA's been doing it for so long, and they've gotten just gradually worse over the years, and they're still doing bad.
Dude, EA's got to be run by like dementia patients or something. Like, there's no way that you're making games worse than you did 30 years ago. It's not. It can't be possible. That's so funny to me.
It's a skill.
It just doesn't make sense. It's all about the money, They don't care about putting the time and effort into these games because they know they're just gonna sell to a bunch of people that don't pay attention to the gaming industry and what is happening,
Indeed.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you heard, you might have, but this past weekend, I guess the only sports games I can give EA credit for is NHL. Well, of course you will, Mark. But this past weekend, Xbox Live went down for like 2 days. I guess like the whole weekend apparently. And I guess some people's consoles were getting bricked. Like over this issue of Xbox Live being down, and people couldn't even play their games. Like, what is going on? Like, are you kidding me? How is this still happening? How are things like this still happening,
Xbox, it's kind of normal for them.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've heard any of these issues with Sony or not. I mean, yeah, they've had their live service down before, of course. Every one of them has that happen sometimes.
It's
but-
usually like a server wide hack or something that takes it down for a couple days.
Huh. Yeah. But the fact that there was an article that I seen that I guess like some people's consoles got bricked because of it. It's just like, how does that even happen? Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's rough.
Yeah, and it's a shame that that would happen.
It
I'd be so angry, dude. Like, imagine going online to play your games and then all of a sudden the live service is down, you can't play, and then all of a sudden your console just breaks.
Wow.
Oh, that's just sad, you know.
It is.
Sean, is there anything else?
Um,
I think we covered pretty much everything this week
we did-
that I can think of. It was a little slow over a week, but surprised we actually went for as long as we have, to be honest. Especially with only 4 people. I was hoping to have 5 or 6, but that's okay. It happens.
No, Sheldon will show up as we're leaving. So
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, you know. He'll be good next week though, so should have at least 5 of us next week. I'm hoping for 6, maybe 7. Honestly,
be
I don't
good.
know yet. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars I'm still slowly working on. I'm taking my time with it because I just been like either playing older stuff or checking out stuff like Knights of the Old Republic and just the Old Republic, which Old Republic I actually kind of like. I'm only level 4, but like I think I'm gonna play a little more of that. And then Lego Star Wars, you know, I'm casually playing that and been working on some YouTube stuff and such. So yeah, because there hasn't been anything new as of right now. Like, there was at the beginning of the year for a little while. It was crazy. It started off with Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is actually a pretty decent game. Like, you know, like if you're not into Pokemon, it's like if I recommended a Pokemon game to anyone, it'd be that. Because people who played, like, the Red and Blue and stuff back in the day, they like Arceus. But they hate everything, like, before it. And yeah, like, graphics-wise and stuff, it's not that great. But its gameplay is, I mean, it carries it, more or less, because it's unique and different. And then it was Horizon Forbidden West for me, and then Elden Ring was 1 week after that, so it was like I didn't even have time to finish one over the other, and then I went back to them. And now there's really nothing. I just am playing Lego Star Wars and playing other stuff every now and then. I might go back to Genshin Impact a little bit soon. I don't know yet. So, what have you guys been playing lately? Not.
Lego games.
yeah, if I have time to play, yeah, I've been playing the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. But I went back to start playing Subnautica. I never really got a chance to play it before, and
I don't know what that
I
is.
saw they had a Switch port, and the Switch port's not terrible. It's decent, and I have made quite a bit of progress on there. It's a pretty cool game.
I gotcha. And Sean, you've been playing a little bit of Warframe and
Genshin, some Destiny.
yeah, so nothing hasn't been anything new lately. I mean, you finished Elden Ring, so and you did a lot in that. You didn't get the platinum
Man.
trophy, but you still did like
No.
a lot.
Yeah, I'm not going through it 3 times in a row like that. Like, no.
I did. I platinum
know you
trophy
did.
I platinum Elden Ring. I freaking did everything, man.
I don't know why you take the time to do stuff like that.
I love it. I don't know. I love it. If it's a game that I like really, really, really love, I go for the platinum trophy. And Elden Ring and
That's
Horizon Forbidden West I did. God of War Ragnarok will likely end up being the same. I'll probably end up going for the platinum trophy for that as well. I don't know about games like Starfield and what else? Forspoken. Forspoken's a Square Enix game too. I don't know if that's a
hope that's
Western
good.
game. Yeah, I hope so too. It looked pretty decent. So
It does look good.
yeah. Hopefully next week there's a lot more, but honestly we still went for like an hour and a half, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
to
that's
be
pretty
honest.
good.
Yeah, I thought we'd go for a little less, to be honest, just because I feel like this week there was less news in the past week than normal.
Yeah.
But there's an indie Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Hopefully there's a couple cool things there, and maybe we'll talk about that next week, and hopefully some other stuff comes out. But I mean, once we get to June, like the second week of June, to be honest, like the podcast that's going to be the Tuesday after both the Xbox show, and there's Isaiah, an hour and a half in, and he shows his face. So I guess we're not ending. They got a bunch of stuff to talk to him about.
I mean, I gotta go anyway because I gotta get up for work in the morning.
Okay. See you, Marshall. Marshall, do you have any social media or anything? Like anything like YouTube or anything that you do?
Oh, no? Man, I mean, I did YouTube for years, but I kind of quit doing that. I'm doing music now.
Okay. Do you have a YouTube for your music?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Send me the link or whatever. I'll put it in the description. I can put it in my description.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. See you next week, Marshall.
All right. I'll see you guys
later. So Isaiah. funny because we were just saying that Sheldon would show up as we're about to end, and then all of a sudden you show up as we were gonna end soon.
I figured you were about to end, but
no, we're good now because now we can bring up the conversations to you of all kinds of different stuff, you know. for a little bit.
Sorry.
So a big one that I wanted to bring up, especially with you because you with Marvel and stuff. Square Enix lost $200 million on Avengers. 200 million, dude.
No, it was. I'll give the game this. I didn't mind the main story. I thought it was pretty good for what it was.
It was.
I really liked what they did with Miss Marvel. I'd hoped they bring that to the MCU, but we're getting a little different path with that. But no, I thought the main story was great, but I figured with all the Avengers Initiative stuff and the kind of late, delayed DLC releases, I figured that'd kind of tank it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing with it, was the DLC was taking way too long. They should have delayed the base game. That way
They should have.
Because then when it launched, it would have had a stronger launch because the DLC would have came out quicker, and that was its biggest issue. And my biggest question is this company that bought Crystal Dynamics going to keep the game going, or are they going to revamp the game, or is the game going to end up being another Anthem where it just dies within the next year, 6 months to a year,
I really don't want to see it die, though. I mean, it had a lot of potential.
It did.
I mean, because there really hasn't been an Avengers game like that. So that's why I'm thinking,
And the biggest issues, too, was the fact that you were constantly fighting robots, more robots, and more robots.
Yes.
It was like, why are we fighting aimbots the whole time,
Just get some more human, I mean, that's where I'm kind of like, take a book out of Spider-Man's book, Insomniacs, and just throw some more human aspects in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
even Ultron and Ultron bots, like
right.
It's robots, but it's different robots. Hey,
the game has a good base.
Yeah,
like it has
and to be honest, like the Black Panther DLC wasn't that bad, but it was more robots. They added new spider robots, but it was not much. But the final boss was good and had potential there, but. I didn't come back until that DLC because like I did play the other two DLCs after Black Panther's DLC came out, and that brought me back to check that out. But after I finished it, it was like, well, now we're going back to the repetitiveness of the same missions constantly, the same stuff, So it's like, I couldn't keep playing.
Personally, I just honestly I think they should have just kept it. They should have took out the Avengers Initiative stuff. They should have just kept it a campaign-based game, honestly. They really should have just done that.
And that's why Guardians of the Galaxy was so good. The problem is that game didn't sell that well.
I want to play that so bad.
It's up there with, like, quality-wise with Spider-Man and Miles Morales for sure. It was a surprise.
The Avengers game should have been designed just like Spider-Man was. It should have been just a campaign-based game with some side quests thrown in there. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. If it would have followed that blueprint, the game would have done way better, honestly.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Cooking. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, I mean, and that's what made Guardians of the Galaxy not sell very well, was because that game it ruined them completely and their reputation.
Right.
And it being their first Marvel game, So my hope is that the company that bought Avengers, I want to see them revamp it in a good way. Like, there was rumors that Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and stuff was going to come. 2 of you have seen the movie yet. I haven't seen it. Just saying.
So good.
So yeah,
he
said same thing. So.
Wait, who saw it? Oh
That's
yeah,
all
it
I'm
was
saying.
so good, man. It was so good.
It was a lot
Oh.
happened I didn't expect.
Yeah,
Dennis, I will say this. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Yeah.
I'm not a spoiler.
yeah,
but-
I'm not seeing it till Saturday. So.
A lot of the stuff in that movie I did not expect, and I'm telling you
One
right
thing
now,
that I did hear was that the second act, you could tell that they did reshoots and it changed
Yes.
stuff that was not part of Sam Raimi's original script. So you
Well,
could
and
tell.
I will say this. He can agree with me on this. You can definitely tell it's a Sam Raimi film. Like, he did a really
That's-
good job with
that's-
it. I mean,
that's what I heard.
he had his redemption, so I'm very
That's good.
impressed with it. The
So-
future is looking great for Marvel. Future's looking
which is
great.
good.
So
Yeah. So Overwatch 2 had a closed beta, and I guess it's like a lot like the first game, and people aren't very happy that like it's very much like the first game in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So whatever, and its graphics and stuff, it's essentially the same.
Oh, I'm glad you
Um,
said that, because I mean, I know that's not one of your topics, but just to kind of similarly do it, I managed to watch a little Splatoon 3, and it's the same thing. It feels kind of like 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool they have a new story, so I'll give that to them. But I feel like it's kind of in the same boat as Overwatch. You're gonna get a lot of repetitive. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know.
Yeah. I might get Splatoon 3. I'm not sure yet. The second
thinking
one I
about
didn't
it.
play as much, but I'm not sure. So NFTs, the market is collapsing. Yes, the NFT market is collapsing, and it's
I
fantastic.
figured that was inevitable. I'm thinking of Thanos here. I figured
Yeah.
that was inevitable. You know.
And
So,
it's funny because Square Enix sold off their properties to focus more on NFTs and cryptocurrency, and and now look, it might not work out for them there.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'll be straight up honest. I looked at my boss last week. My district manager was in. I'm like, this is probably gonna be a really stupid question, but what the heck is an NFT? I kept hearing people talk about it. I had no idea what it was. I just kind of, people bring it up and just like, oh yeah, NFTs, yeah, cool. And I had no idea until they told me, and I'm like, that's what NFT is, really? That's the whole craze going on. But I figured it was gonna be inevitable. I figured.
It's so stupid. It's so
oh
dumb.
my gosh.
So I hope nothing Square Enix doesn't end up having any problems, because I mean, they're originally a Japan developer anyway, so like Final Fantasy sells like hotcakes. It sells like crazy. Kingdom Hearts sells like crazy. So I mean, none of that is you guys better do a like Kingdom Hearts 4 midnight release when it comes out, because I will be mad if that doesn't happen. But that probably, who knows when that'll come out. Final Fantasy 16, that was another thing that was on my list. A new trailer. I guess the game is out near completion, which is cool. So there's likely going to be a trailer for Final Fantasy 16 next month at the probably Summer Game Fest, I'm guessing.
Summer Game Fest, that's gonna be interesting. That's
Dude, it's just 3 days. It's just 3 days before the Xbox show, which is insane.
Can you? I think honestly, I think it's safe to say our brains are probably going to be overloaded after that.
Yeah, and we might get a Nintendo Direct in June as well. And who knows about Sony?
We're gonna get one.
Yeah,
dude, we're gonna get one. I mean, it's
yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah, because they do one in February, June, then September. So yeah.
Well, I feel like everything. Oh, my bad, Dennis. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
But I feel like, honestly, without E3, a lot of them they're gonna end up doing their own stuff anyway to make up for it. Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely, no doubt. What was I saying?
Crap.
We were talking about those shows. Oh yeah. Let's just say that Tuesday the podcast will probably end up being like 3 hours long.
Oh yeah.
because we're gonna have
least.
both the Bethesda Xbox show and Summer Game Fest to talk about, and both of those are gonna be huge, and there's gonna be so many games and so many things to talk about. It's gonna be ridiculous. I hope that Tuesday we can get everybody. Like I hope we can get like 6-7 people or whatever for the podcast. We got to get Steven that week for sure.
Now, remind me, Dennis, what week is that? Remind me.
June 9th is the Summer Game Fest, and then June 12th, that Sunday, is the Xbox show.
Okay, I know
So it'll
12th
be-
is Xbox, 9th is the summer. Okay.
So it'll be June 14th that night. That podcast is gonna be like, we're gonna have so much to talk about.
It's gonna be insane.
There's gonna be so many games. It's gonna be nuts.
Hey, it's gamers heaven though. I'll take it.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so
Man.
awesome, dude.
Now underrated. I just want to throw this out there. I've been playing a lot of that Sifu on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I seen you were playing that.
Dude,
I heard it's really good.
Phenomenal.
And we mentioned
Phenomenal.
indie games earlier as well, and how we were talking about how some companies going like multiplayer only and like things like that is not, we don't want games to go that way, you know, like
Yes.
like multiplayer is awesome. We need it. We need it as a separate thing though, and we always need single player, and indie developers do basically nothing but single player games, and there's a lot of really good ones, such as Sifu and such as Kena Bridge of Spirits, which I love that game. I can't believe it was an
gotta
indie
try
game. It's a really great, excellent, fun game.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because that's honestly, especially from the retail aspect of it, I see a lot of people come in, and the first thing they ask, I almost anticipate it now. They always ask, what's some good multiplayer games we can play? And I straight up tell them, I'm like, look, if you've got Xbox or PlayStation, I mean, good luck, because a lot of the games now you have to have your own console to be able to play online. And that's one thing Nintendo, I'm gonna tell you right now, Nintendo's got over the top of both of those is co-op games. That's the big thing for them.
That is a big thing.
So,
speaking of co-op, today we got new gameplay for Gotham Knights. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I personally feel about it.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's for me. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or I might play it when it's on sale. I don't know if I'm gonna get. That's not something I don't think I'm gonna get day one.
I don't know. Like day one, no. But it's like, do I think the idea is cool? Yes.
I'm
by all means. I
more
think it's cool.
intrigued by the Suicide Squad, because that's the game made by the Arkham trilogy people, Rocksteady.
Now, have they shown a lot on that yet?
No, not a lot.
I haven't seen a lot on it yet.
There hasn't been a whole lot, and it was delayed to next year, so we probably won't see anything on it till later in the year. I don't think we'll see anything in June for that one.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of stuff right now, as of right now, I feel like they're trying to build up God of War this year. I feel like that's what they're trying to, because I mean, think about Legend of Zelda's next year. I mean, then you got that game's gonna be next year. Gotham Knights is this year.
Yeah.
But,
but it's not like it's gonna be like Game of the Year kind of.
No,
that's the thing, is like God of War is the only other game that might have a chance of dethroning Elden Ring. Might. Like when it comes to like Game of the Year contender. Because Elden Ring is so popular and so huge. I was not expecting that game to be so dang popular. Like Elden Ring, it's crazy.
I had a feeling it was going to be popular because so many people I noticed that I knew, and people I didn't. People
were hyped.
That's all they talked about.
People
and I'm
were
like,
really hyped.
Something about this game feels different.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have a feeling it's going to do well. I always had a good feeling about it.
From Software hadn't done anything that big before. Like, no one talked about the Demon's Souls remake for PS5 as a launch title. Like, it looked phenomenal, but nobody talked about it except for your average From Software fans like myself. And nobody talked about Dark Souls 3 when it came out. I didn't even play it when it came out. However, I brought this up to them earlier. Bloodborne. There's more rumors that it's going to get a remake or something. And I think and would hope that it's made by Blue Point that did the Demon's Souls remake, because if you compare Demon's Souls to Elden Ring, Demon's Souls actually visually is better. It visually looks even better because they weren't using From Software's engine, which is really, really impressive. It definitely looks more next gen. Yeah,
that was when you first got your PlayStation. I remember that you streamed it and you screen shared it. So that was.
Dude, I don't think I finished my second playthrough, but it's a really, really good game. Like that and Miles Morales made the launch for next gen. Those two titles.
Dude. Oh,
I know Miles Morales. I beat it 3 times. Yeah.
Beauty of a game. Honestly, it's kind of ironic that my first game on PS4 was the first Spider-Man, and the PS5 was Miles Morales.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I didn't even know it at first. I thought about it. I'm like, both PlayStations, I started with the Spider-Man game. That's pretty sweet. So, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I see you got the black plates for your PS5. That's cool.
Yeah. I got the black plates on there.
Nice.
I would say I use my purple controller the most, though. I will say that.
I have I have that crimson red.
Dude, I always call it like a crimson or a champagne red. That's usually what I say. But it's yeah, and I just got the sky blue one. It's pretty sweet. I
hope they. Heck, Sean and Cameron haven't been talking just because I already got their thoughts on literally everything and stuff. I'm sure they're enjoying the conversation though, But I hope that Bloodborne, like, there's been rumors for PC port, there's been rumors for PS5 port for higher frame rate and stuff. Everyone wants Bloodborne to come back from PS4, from base PS4. It has such a big fan base. specifically for the PlayStation as a PS4 exclusive. And I really hope, because if it happens, I mean, people are gonna freak out because so many people want Bloodborne to be ported, even ported with better frame rate and stuff. So many people want that, and so I hope that Sony ends up budging and doing it. I really hope Sony ends up budging and doing it. I can't believe they still haven't. It'll make my money. It'll make.
Well,
them money.
yeah. I mean, as many of the classic games as they're making into TV shows that are already in the work now, I feel like that'd be a great way to push Bloodborne.
I'm definitely scared for God of War as a show.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm scared.
Personally, I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, just leave it as a game.
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's like, what are they gonna do? His origin story of showing him as a child and stuff, like the way they did Uncharted. Like,
it's hard when they've already made such a strong video.
Well, I
game
heard
base.
Before the Uncharted movie, there's actually like a whole PlayStation thing that pops up before the movie. So like they're making like a whole movie thing for Sony. Like PlayStation games as live action TV shows and movies, like as a whole, they're gonna start doing that. So
have you guys seen Uncharted? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
No. You did?
No.
What'd you?
I haven't.
I have.
What'd you think of it?
There's some parts that was a little bit corny, but it was overall, I think it was actually a pretty decent movie.
I heard it was okay. You know, like it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as people were thinking, but it wasn't great. You know, just okay.
Yeah.
They were walking uncharted territory.
Indeed.
Yeah. Tom Holland's a great actor, but I don't think he was probably the right actor for that specific.
Same with Mark Wahlberg
Yeah.
solely. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Really. I heard Mark Wahlberg's just basically playing Mark Wahlberg, not solely. You know.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Sounds about right.
That's a lot of his movies though, man. He's always just Mark Wahlberg, you know.
True.
But
Yeah.
he's a great guy. I gotta give him credit. He's a good guy, but man, you can only do so many roles, you know. Some roles just aren't. They just don't match up. But.
So Isaiah, did you hear about this previous weekend? Xbox Live was down for like 2 days or something.
Yeah,
some people's consoles were breaking apparently too. Like
seriously,
from what I heard, yeah. I don't know, but the Xbox Live, was down for like the whole weekend. It's like,
I can believe it easily.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't on, and I was playing Sifu. So
yeah, I wasn't. I didn't touch my Xbox either because I finished Fallen Order like last weekend or something. Speaking of,
how was that?
Well, it was my second playthrough, but it's a masterpiece. If you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, you need to play it. You need to play it. It's a masterpiece.
Sale too.
It's
I gotta grab it.
It's an absolute masterpiece of a Star Wars game for sure. It's absolutely fantastic. Best.
Sweet.
I mean, it's the only single player experience Star Wars game we've had in many years, but they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it, and I can't wait for the sequel. I'm worried for the characters because I feel like someone's probably gonna die, but like, it's gonna be better than the first one possibly, and I can't wait to see more. We're probably gonna actually Star Wars Celebrations at the end of this month, so we're likely gonna see Fallen Order 2. Absolutely, at the end of this month.
They're gonna do something big. They're gonna do something big. I can already see.
They might even show like, I mean, it's off topic of video games, but like the Ahsoka show is now in development and stuff. They'll probably show something on that and junk too, which is cool.
Yep.
And I don't know if you heard, but the Nintendo Switch has sold over 100 million units now. 107 million. It's in 5th place now for highest selling console of all time after 5 years.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. It is in 5th place now, which is insane. It topped it topped the Wii and the PlayStation 1 now, and only has 4 left to beat, which are the PS4, which has 116 million. I think it's going to top that. Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which have 118 million. I think it's probably going to top that too. And then the DS is 154 million, and then PS2 is 155 million. Oh.
Also, PS2 is the top. Okay, I believe it.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which isn't surprising because the PS2 truly is still one of the greatest consoles of all time.
For me, it's like PS2 and GameCube, man. I love my GameCube
to
death.
Me too. But although the PS4 generation did almost top the PS2 generation for me, it had a lot of good games on the PS4.
It did.
So,
it's
I don't know.
hard. PlayStation, they've made multiple consoles where it's kind of hard to gauge because there's some titles you wish that were on PS4 that you wish you could have played earlier, and there's some on 2 that you wish you could play now.
Yeah.
So that's...
Sean, do you have another collection of games with you?
Oh boy.
I think you grab more games.
He's like, hold on, hold my hoops. I'm about to chase games. So. Oh boy.
I mean, I found my Ark the Lad collector's box.
Oh my god.
That's so cool, dude.
Dude, that is insane.
And I still have stuff from it inside here too.
My gosh.
God.
See, I gotta go to the game vault if I want to go buy this stuff.
Like-
You know.
I still have the little art book that came with it.
That's awesome.
See, why was stuff back then? They came with all the good stuff. Like seriously.
I know now
They
it's
always
all
came
about
with all the-
digital. And another one of my topics I was gonna bring up is I
Those
don't.
little thumb caps for the PS2.
Dude.
That's so cool.
Oh my god, what a throwback.
I know, right?
Another
Dude.
topic I was gonna bring up. I don't know if I did, but how do we? I mean, I'm sure you all feel the same way as me. How do we feel about the inevitable video games going digital? Maybe next gen.
Not a fan myself.
I'm just
but
gonna say this. I'm gonna
Nintendo.
say this, man.
Nintendo will be last. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But-
I'm just gonna say this. I've personally never been digital myself.
Same.
Digital. There's always like mini exceptions on me. If it's like a free game, okay, it's free. Whatever. I'll
Yeah.
download it. Cool.
Yeah,
If it's
course.
like $5,
Yeah.
like Fallen Order, I know I'll probably buy that for $5. I'll
Yeah.
take it. Whatever.
Of
Cool.
course.
But if it's like a
Massive
Let's say,
title
for
that you're hyped
example,
for.
for coming up, let's say Mario Strikers, right? Because that's a game I've been waiting for forever. So let's say I would never buy that digitally. I want a physical copy in my hand. I want it to
Mhm.
add to the collection,
Yes.
just like he's showing right now. He's got
Mhm.
all the stuff from back.
And that's the
Come
thing
on,
too,
man, you
is
can't-
that it's sentimental value too, and this is value that like
Yes, I've always been
and,
sentimental.
yeah, and
Always.
here's the thing too, is that like digital Legend of Dragoon, you know,
You know how hard it is to
Dude.
find this thing?
oh, I
Insane.
don't doubt it. But the thing too is like the pricing on games, like they're valueless if you get them digital, you know. If you get them digitally, there's no value there. You're
Right.
not
I
gonna,
mean,
you can't make any money back or anything, you know.
right. No, and that's why I've always liked getting physical. Like my GameCube stuff. If I ever got rid of that, I'd probably faint. Honestly, I'd probably faint because it's like you said. I've always been sentimental. I can't get rid of stuff. That's my problem. Now I'm not a hoarder. I can get rid of some stuff, but when it comes
No.
to gaming, though,
Yeah.
I gotta keep that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
That's a whole
Yeah.
different thing.
I think there's a chance that PlayStation 6 and whatever the next Xbox will be, like Z. It's not gonna be called Xbox Z, but you know.
I hope not.
XYZ.
No. It'll be It'll be
I think-
the Xbox. It'll be the Xbox Series 2X.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
the
they just gotta
Xbox
have another
Series
word for
20 or whatever. I don't know. I think those very well could end up being digital, but I think Nintendo will for sure be last. But I think after the Switch's lifespan, whatever the Pro is or something, I think they want it to be a 10-year console. Sega CD. What is that on
Hey,
the Sega
dude.
CD?
Holy
Silver
crap!
Star.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that forever.
I
That's
know.
Cool.
Holy crap!
But I think the digital gaming as a whole will eventually take over, and it's unfortunate. That's on Dreamcast. Jet
Dude,
Red Radio.
I
Radio.
still have
Have
that. I
that.
think I still have that.
I literally have that, and I have
Holy
it with my
crap.
Dreamcast.
I still
Mhm.
have that downstairs. Oh my gosh,
Yep. Classic.
dude!
I even
I
own that
can't
one
re-
on Steam.
I wonder if you guys remember. Okay, you have Dreamcast. Do you remember what was that boxing game they did? There was like a guy with a big afro. I can't remember what that was called.
I don't
But
know
you
what
also
it's
do all
called,
these
but
special
I've
types
heard
of
of that.
moves. Oh, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I-
My dad used to play it all the time. I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember too. God, it's been forever.
Oh, that's been killing me as of late. But I don't want to get you guys off topic. Keep going, Dennis.
Dude.
Well, I was just saying, it's a shame that there is a future where digital is probably going to take over. And what sucks about that too, as well, is like, well, GameStop, for instance. I mean, as of right now, physical games obviously still a thing, but there could come a time when it's not. And then previous generations and stuff, you'll only be able to sell the older stuff. You won't be able to sell the new stuff. And there could come a point when GameStop slowly goes down again, you know? There could come a
Right.
point there as well.
Honest-
And that's where places like Game Vault and stuff take more advantage. However, if digital does eventually take over, I think GameStop will end up doing the decision of selling old games again and stuff, you know, all the old stuff and
Yes.
everything again. I think there will come a time when they will have no choice, because there very well might come a time again where GameStop is close to shutting down, because right now they're doing fine again, but there was a point when they almost did, and that there could come a time when that happens again because of digital, which
Right.
sucks, because digital gaming being the future does suck, because
It does.
physical gaming, digital has its ups, but it also has its downs. And then you look at stuff like the PS3 store was almost shut down and stuff, which that kind of sucks,
Right.
you know. And then now Nintendo, we already know that the DS shop and Wii U shop's gonna go down. Those
That's
are gonna
sad.
go.
That's sad, man. I always
Yeah.
loved those shots.
Yeah.
Man. Even if I didn't buy anything, it was just cool to look through it. I mean,
Mhm.
they just had a
Mhm.
great setup.
So yeah.
No, you're right though, Dennis. But if you think about it though, any digital games you have, they're not really yours. If you think about it, they're not really your title,
Mhm.
so they can yank it if they wanted to.
Realistically.
Honestly,
Cameron?
man, that's why having a physical game, it's yours, man. The
Mhm.
disc, the cartridge, whatever you've got, it is yours.
Yeah. Cameron, what?
So
I will say Steam does pretty good with that.
yes.
Steam does very good.
Oh my god.
Toy Story.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness, dude. That's crazy. Well, you've got a friend in me, all right?
What about Steam?
Now keep going, man.
I've been watching videos of course, people talking about the different Formula One games from Codemasters, and they'll have like F1 2013, F1 2010, 2011, 2013, 2018. All those games are not on Steam anymore, and I can't get them. And I wound up getting F1 2012, 2014, 15, and 16, and 17, all just right before they were all taken off Steam. You can't get those games on Steam anymore because
That's
because the licensing, because they use real Formula One teams in there, so their licensing is only lasts for so long. But it's like, for fuck's sake, I can't buy F1 2013 anymore.
Hmm.
I
That's
really
the
want to
tough
get that
part.
again.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
the tough part right there.
that's a messed up thing too, is that when certain digital things, such as what they're doing with the Sonic games, for instance, with Sonic Origins coming out, taking them off the storefront and you can only get them digital only, certain games you just can't buy them ever again. Then they're just
Right.
gone. You have to get them illegally, you know, or from
And then
someone
you
who already had it.
It's gonna suck, man.
And then you have the case like original Skyrim on Steam. You could still buy the original Skyrim on Steam. They just only show the special edition. But to get the original version, you actually have to have someone link you the store page, because it's not going to appear in your feed if you search for Skyrim
Hmm.
or Elder Scrolls or anything like that. So I had to go online, look for a link directly to the store page, and
What
then
game
buy
is
it
that?
from there.
What game is that? Kid.
Oh my!
What is it?
I recognize that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the ones that's hard to pronounce, but
Kid.
yeah.
Huh.
Kudelka?
I will say though, he's got a point. I mean, literally, if you look at it, all it takes is one company pulling a plug, and that's it. That title's gone. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the big downside of digital stuff, because they can do
Yeah.
whatever they want.
And it
It's
could
their
be
title.
you know, it could be also indie developers, their game could be, depending on the game, could be gone forever as well, you know.
Right.
They that means they don't get any more money, make any more money off that game once the store closes down. You know, which that sucks.
Right.
It's a dang shame. Genshin Impact for Switch isn't still in development. I don't know if you know a lot of Genshin
Okay.
fans. You probably might know some. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
I
guess it's
definitely
still-
do.
I guess it's still in development for Switch. So I mean that's
Oh yeah, and they're
Well,
doing Evil Dead. That's gonna be coming out for Switch too.
okay. Halo Season 2, we talked a little bit about that. I mean, it's unfortunate
Really
that,
didn't have
that
much
Halo. Yeah, just the fact that Halo's fan base going down still with its player base
Kinda
and
dwindling.
such. Yeah, dwindling on its hope. Like, it still has a player base there. It's not dead like Battlefield, but it's still
Pretty close.
low numbers. Even though season 2 just came out like a week ago, and it's just like nowhere. So it's like whatever.
That's fair.
Okay. Do you have any, for the company that bought Crystal Dynamics, new Marvel character game ideas that you'd like to see?
Okay.
I said Ant-Man would be cool
No,
because
they've never done an Ant-Man. That's
because
genius.
he can shrink down into the sewers and stuff. He can get
Right.
giant and destroy cars and stuff, and
That would be
different
sweet.
things that Ant-Man can do, and could have a good origin story against, like, just against Yellow Jacket or someone else. I don't know, and it could be really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and I mean, and that gives it opportunity to pick maybe heroes people don't think about. For instance, Squirrel Girl. It's very crazy, very weird, but
Yeah.
hey, I'd like to play a game on it. I
Yeah.
mean, cool, you know, you got a bunch of squirrels.
She'll probably come to the MCU in the future, to be honest.
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point.
It'll be
Sure,
cool. I mean,
so-
but that's a good idea though, Dennis. Pick a hero that hasn't really been
Mhm.
emphasized yet.
Doctor
I mean,
Strange
there's
would be a
Wolf-
cool one for a game, for sure.
Dude, and I can
sure.
imagine the skill tree.
And
for
I
that.
also was
That'd be
saying,
awesome.
I was mentioning earlier, Insomniac, right? They're killing it with Spider-Man. They're doing awesome, doing perfect. They're doing
Wolverine now, too.
Wolverine, which is going to be definitely a very mature game for sure, and it's going to have a lot of
Oh,
blood
yeah.
and stuff, definitely. And they're probably going to nail it, absolutely nail it. And I was like, Insomniac's building this universe, and they're going to kill it with a mature Wolverine game. Maybe they could pull off Punisher or Daredevil. Insomniac.
Dude, if they do Punisher or Daredevil, they
Yeah.
could take my money.
I think
mean,
Insomniac absolutely could pull one of them off as well, and I think they will eventually, because it seems like they want to, aside from Spider-Man universe, I mean,
Yeah.
Wolverine's a more mature character, so like they could, if they pull
Even-
that off, they definitely could pull off a Punisher or a Daredevil game, you know.
And if they get Punisher and Daredevil, hey, I wouldn't even be opposed to revamping Deadpool.
And Daredevil is oh yeah, Deadpool. It's funny because
Revamp
that
Deadpool
game people still love so much, even though it's like it's a little repetitive, but like it's still such a good game. Like it's still a really good game. People still really like it. You know, that Deadpool game it's still fun. I'd be down for like a remake of
Dude,
it
Punisher,
or a new
though,
Deadpool game. That'd be nuts.
Daredevil would be sweet though. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't
if
mind a
it's
Daredevil game.
yeah, and I mean if it's in the same universe as Spider-Man too, I mean they already got Kingpin in there
Yeah.
as well. So I mean, because I'm assuming they're wanting to build a universe. Wolverine's probably gonna be in the same universe as the Spider-Man games. I'm sure.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I mean that's honestly because if you think about it, a lot of the Spider-Man games in the past they've always included other Marvel characters. So like Web of Shadows, they had Moon Knight in there. They had Luke Cage. They had Wolverine in there. I mean, there's so many possibilities they could do. Shoot, I wouldn't even be opposed to Luke Cage too. I mean, that'd be cool. Throw some new people.
There were some people who said that could be cool. Luke Cage actually, yeah, like you said, Web of Shadows or whatever, he was in there, and it was pretty neat.
There's a lot of references to that. I mean,
we also talked a little bit about like the Steam Deck and its specs, and talking about like the Switch Pro and what we're gonna get next there, and that like Nintendo can utilize the specs of the Steam Deck to really easily utilize their specs to make a Switch Pro that actually makes certain games work way better, you know?
yeah,
like-
no, of course.
Like games that have like lower frame rate or lower visuals or whatever that have issues in handheld mode. Just look at what the Steam Deck uses, utilize that to make your own new Switch device that makes these games run a lot better, you know?
Right. No, I completely agree with that. I mean, that's honestly, I was talking to my boss about that a couple days ago. I'm just like, look, honestly, how much further can you really go besides VR when you have a console that's on the go and at home? So, honestly, the Switch Pro, just take what you have already from the Switch, modify it using the Steam Deck.
Which, granted, the Steam Deck is only a handheld-only thing, but like it's so impressive. So it's like Nintendo can utilize that so well for a new Switch.
They need to step up.
Yeah,
they do, honestly, because I mean, and I feel like the OLED was like a 50% upgrade. Like they only updated the handheld, so it wasn't really much of the dock. All they need to do is just upgrade the dock, upgrade the tablet a little bit more, and there you go. I mean, you got your next gen console right there. I mean, that's pretty much it.
That, and utilize new things in it that we were also mentioning, that Nintendo's so far behind the times on like a chat system, having to use your phone. Like, I don't want to have to use this to chat with people. Like, why do I gotta be on my why do I have to be on my PlayStation or on Discord on my PC in order to talk with people when I'm playing a Nintendo game, you know?
Or integrate Discord with Nintendo. They're the last one. PlayStation's already integrated in too. They're the last one.
Exactly. Just integrate Discord into the Switch.
I love Discord being integrated in PlayStation already. So I mean, just put
fine.
Switch in there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Exactly. That's all I need to do for chat. Yeah. And then being able to message your friends too. You could do that on the DS, and you can't do it on the Switch. Like, there was ways you could on the DS, and you can't on the Switch.
If you don't remember Picto Chat, man, I swear. I mean, hey.
Picto Chat was the bomb.
I
used to be in elementary and middle school or whatever, Picto chatting people in class that brought their DSs.
That was text messaging before text messaging was even a thing for me. That was it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep, Picto Chat was.
No, honestly, you're right though, man. There's the Switch. I feel like they're missing a few key elements. Like for me, a big thing I noticed too, if you had streaming to that thing, like Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube. I mean, YouTube's already there, but
Yeah.
all the other big ones, that's already another one there. Because imagine watching Disney Plus handheld.
Yeah, they're such a huge company. It's like, why don't they have certain aspects that they should have? I mean, and streaming services isn't a big deal to me, but at least add
No.
an internet
It would
browser.
vary it.
Add an
You know,
internet
it'd vary
browser.
it.
The Wii U had
Yeah.
an internet browser.
Yeah,
The
where's
DS
the
had an internet browser.
at? Everything else did. So
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Everything else has an
Sausage.
internet browser.
Personally, what still
Nintendo,
ticks
come
me off though is the shop. Like they changed it too much. They should have
That
kept it the
Marshall
same as
was
the Wii U
mentioning that
was.
earlier. The way that the shop's set up is just kind of weird. And he said
It
like
is.
you'll run into like a bunch of weird third-party titles that don't even make any sense. Like why are they even here? You know, in the list
The
of stuff
Wii
you're
U was
looking through.
goated. The Wii U was
When it came to
goated
the
in that
store, I
aspect.
can give them that. I can give them that.
Yep.
When it came to the store,
Yep.
you know, and their online service thing. Well, obviously back then you didn't pay, but they had all the old school games like in a section or whatever to download and stuff.
The
way that
virtual
they had it. So,
gallery.
Yep. So
Yep. That personally, I thought they should have kept the virtual gallery instead of the Switch Online stuff. I thought that would have done better. Honestly, I love the virtual gallery.
Yeah.
But,
But the Switch Online is starting to add more new things. So as long as
Yeah,
they keep
no, it's-
adding to it, it'll make it more worth the price over time. Especially if they add all the Game Boy stuff that we were talking about, like
if they do that, yes.
all them Game Boy
that's-
games, like that'll definitely help them a lot when it comes to people who don't have the service very often. Like
Right.
I only get it when I want to use it to play online with certain things, you know, and I'll pay for a month or whatever every now and then. But I mean, they'll make me pay more money if they add a lot of good Game Boy games and stuff that I don't own currently.
Wait back a second.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, you're right though, man. It's honestly when it comes down to that, I feel like it's not so much quantity, it's more of the quality. Like that's if you choose the right games, you implement them in. Now, obviously, it's both too. We want quantity. We want more to be able to be.
Of course.
There's more of an incentive, but
Yeah.
the quality of the games they add to it, that'll make it worth it. Personally, I mean, if they wouldn't have done Switch Online like they did, I would have just said add Virtual Gallery back in because that was well worth it to me. I'd pay for the games individually again. So
Mhm.
honestly, but I mean, you're right though. The Switch, it's honestly it's so
the
close.
reason why the Switch has sold so much is not only because it's like both a console and a handheld, which was a new different idea which worked really well, but it's because they also added so many third-party titles, not just first-party
Yes.
titles. And the first-party titles, they have a lot more than they did on the Wii U, and they also ported pretty much everything they had on the Wii U just about, or they made a new one that was even better, like with Smash. So,
Right.
you know, that's the reason why it's made such a massive success and so much money, and is still
Well,
continuing to grow.
Right. That plus, there's a lot more co-op games. I mean, there's little tiny
Yep.
things they've done that it really is a big impact for them. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you look at PlayStation and Xbox, I don't really think we can look at both of those and say, oh yeah, those are family friendly. Honestly, I really don't
No.
think we could.
No.
Because 90% of those games, I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but 90% of those games either a shooter, some kind of blood and gore, some kind of violence. I mean,
or a single player experience.
exactly. So I mean, the Switch, their biggest things is co-op and nostalgia. That's their biggest thing they're pushing. So
Yep.
honestly, and that works for them. It works for them. They got my money. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
True.
So hopefully in June we get more information. Hopefully they reveal that Game Boy games are going to come to the Switch online service.
Please.
Hopefully maybe we get something on Bayonetta 3, maybe we get something on we could get something new on Breath of the Wild 2 even though it's not till next year. They're definitely going to show Xenoblade Chronicles 3 cuz that's out in that's out next month.
Yeah, it's July. July 29th.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah. All right. So then yeah, that'll be a next month then for sure. You would know
yeah.
you would know the release date. You work at GameStop.
I know. Well, it's weird. Out of all the things I remember release dates. It's so weird. Like right now, I can tell you Gotham Knights, October 24th, and I don't even really look into it that much. I just know the date. So Splatoon 3, September 9th. So there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, Xenoblade. It is weird. They switched places with Splatoon 3.
The biggest thing I want to see next month from Nintendo is them bringing back Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess HD. Like
because they already added
those in
Majora's
HD.
Mask, right? That came in.
For this online service, yeah, the N64
Okay.
collection.
Yeah. that's
I
what
want to see
thought.
them actually like. I want to see a bundle of the two games, like on a physical,
Yeah.
even with a physical copy. That's
Yeah,
what I
no,
want
of
to see.
course. That'd be great.
And
I
then
mean,
the
they've already been doing so many collections. I
Yeah.
mean, why not?
The Metroid Prime trilogy needs to come back as well before Prime 4. I don't know if we're gonna see Prime 4 yet. I still don't think we are. We might not see
Well,
it
they
till
haven't
next
really-
year.
Have they ever said anything as of late on it at
No.
all?
No,
I
not
mean,
at
because
all.
when was the last thing they even mentioned?
They might have
about that?
mentioned something when Metroid Dread was announced or something. They might have mentioned that it was.
You know what? You're
in
right. They
development
did.
or something. Yeah.
They
So
did,
last
you're
year
right.
at some point, but aside from that,
They just said it was still in development. They didn't really give any
yeah,
details on
yep.
it.
yeah. So I like Metroid Dread. It was good, but it's not for
Oh,
everyone.
did you play?
but,
How
yeah.
was it? You liked it?
I 100% it. I loved it. It was way better than I thought it'd be. It was great.
Well, good.
Metroid Dread was awesome,
Kinda,
and it was my first
kinda
full.
dreading
It
it,
was
but-
my first full experience for a Metroid game too. Like I played Super Metroid on my Super Nintendo Classic a little bit and stuff, but like I don't know. I guess the map was you could get lost too easily still, but like I got lost multiple times, but it was fantastic. No.
Yeah, it's
Sean,
fun
you
of it,
you
though, man.
Sean, you probably played Metroid back in the day quite a bit, I'm sure.
Super Metroid.
Yeah, I figured. I figured. You played some.
All right, this is the part where you bring out the original case. Go ahead.
I don't have that at the moment.
Ah, come on, man. The one time we need you. I'm kidding.
Dennis, remember last week you were talking about how they don't have demos and stuff anymore?
Yeah.
I found one of my demos from back in the day.
Oh
Game
my
Pass generator.
gosh.
It's got Tomb Raider on it, Sonic, and other stuff.
gosh.
Rayman.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Dude, that is
That's really
insane.
cool. That's so cool.
Oh
I
my-
I
you-
wish I still
try
had.
showing that to a Gen Z kid. They probably would be so confused right now.
Yeah,
It's
so.
You're kidding me. Okay, let me rephrase that. Show that to certain Gen Z kids that aren't like, I
Yeah.
respect you for knowing it. Good job. I'm gonna respect you for that.
I wish I
Man.
still had. I wish I still had PS2 demo discs. I had one back in the day.
God, I remember
Yeah,
those
those
things, man.
It's all about
Oh
them.
my
It was all about them
Lord.
yard sales. You had to make money.
You should have seen my sister's face when I said, "Hey, I should play my GameCube." She's like, "What the heck is that?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
What the heck is that?
Just-
What?
My,
It's not even
my
that
youngest
old.
sister, not the middle kid, my youngest sister. She was born in 07, but it's just like
Okay, well. she
to
was
me
born
it's
when
like
the Wii came
okay,
out.
still though, I had the thing around. You got to know at least it is. Come on.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on.
like
you're-
it's
come
like it's like, dude, Isaiah, we weren't around back during Dreamcast and all that, but we know
still
about
knew.
everything.
We still know. I
Genesis,
mean,
you name
that's
it.
shoot. My
Well-
parents taught me right. That's all I can say. So they had me grow up right with that. I started with Atari, so that's
I
did
have
it
two
right.
older brothers, so that explained my childhood. know.
Sorry.
Of course, I'm the oldest of three, so I had to.
I'm the
So that
youngest
was,
of four.
Dude,
So, yeah.
holy crap!
Yeah,
Dang.
two older brothers and an older sister. So, grew up with PS2 and GameCube just like you, though.
Hey, there it is, man. That's
Yeah.
it. Gold. That was my golden time right there,
Absolutely.
man.
Sean, was there something you were gonna show us, Sean?
No, someone messaged me. I'm trying to figure out who the hell messaged me.
I gotcha.
Oh.
It's good old what's his
Dylan.
name?
It was
What's his-
Dylan.
Good old what's his name? Yeah.
Mm.
I think we went
Did
over.
we hit all the bullets?
I believe so. Yeah, because we talked about
38
Gotham
sport
Knights.
stuff.
Oh yeah, the only thing that we didn't bring back up was EA and you said
FIFA.
FIFA they separated after like
yeah.
30 years.
But-
Yeah,
Yeah, I read that today.
yeah. Nothing huge
Yeah.
for us considering none of us play FIFA, but I mean,
No.
honestly, that's probably good for FIFA. Bravo to them.
You know, I will say I don't play FIFA, but I do play Mario Strikers. So I mean, there's my soccer right there.
There you go. Yeah, next month. Can't wait.
Hey, I'm so hyped.
I'll be
I'm
I'll be
count-
live on Twitch with a mustache and a Mario hat on, and the gloves.
Dude,
Hilo.
oh my gosh. Okay, now you got to wear cleats too, though, man. You got to get in the soccer skirt. You got to wear
man,
cleats.
I don't know about that. I'll probably be in pajama
Shit.
pants or something,
Mhm.
But EA needs they need to lose Madden too. That'd be great because Madden players
Yeah.
aren't they don't like their Madden.
No.
Not no more. Not no more. They don't.
No, man.
Hasn't
No.
been good in probably 10, 15 years. It keeps getting worse every year. It's funny if you want a good laugh, okay, go to Angry Joe's YouTube channel and go
Oh, no.
search up his Madden reviews and just watch every year's Madden review, and every one of them gets funnier every year. I swear. Like, you got the same effing faces on these freaking characters from last year. They're the same ones, same dang faces. And then in the stands in one of the games, you can see like it's supposed to be like Madden 20, and it says Madden 19 or something up in the or something. It's like, well, it's just the game's a copy paste.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it honestly is. They're always like stunning new graphics. I'm like, okay, cool. But performance, there's like no difference. No
New
change.
modes.
So I'm like,
They're the same
next gen compatible. I'm like, okay, cool, next gen. But I mean, it still looks the same.
Yeah,
Oh.
for real.
I don't know. I honestly, it's just kind of like, I mean, I guess what's the way to put it? It's like a car on its last wheels, I guess. You know, it's kind of on its final leg.
Yeah,
It's about
even
to
big
break down,
football
but-
fans were noticing finally, the last couple of years or whatever, that it was just not. It was gradually getting worse. Like a lot of, I remember there was like one of the years, I think there was like a protest against the game or something from
I think it was
football players or football
what
fans.
was that?
I don't remember what
think it-
one, but I remember there was a year
I'll be
it was
honest,
so bad that
the-
things were.
I'll be honest. The last Madden I got into was probably. That was when Calvin was on the front, so Madden 13 was probably the last I played, and then that was it.
Gotcha. Could have been
Honestly. I
halfway
mean, it
decent
just-
then, maybe.
Hey, I'll tell you what. The only thing that'll get me back into sports is they bring back NCAA, because I will play that. That's for
Gotcha.
sure.
I
But other than that,
What was the one I used to play?
I
It
used
was
to play
on
the football.
Sega.
Oh, they had March Madness too. I remember the March Madness games. Those were
Mutant
fun.
League. I used to play Mutant League football on there.
Oh my, classic.
Mm-hmm.
classic.
Good shit.
You know
Let
what's
me and my dad
disappointing
play
is
that
my PS2 disc for SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. I tried playing it today and it don't work. I put toothpaste on it and everything to try and clean it, like get the scratches off, and nothing. So I'm wondering if
Dang.
I know Technogear does, but I don't know if Game Vault has a like disc cleaner.
Resurfacer?
Yeah, I wonder if they have a disc cleaner thing. Might
Maybe.
go there might go
Oh,
there
no, they
sometime this
do.
weekend. They do.
They do, Dennis. Yeah, they do. It's behind the counter. I saw it.
I wonder if they'd actually be able to get it to work.
Yeah,
They
give it a
could.
shot.
You never know until you try.
It's probably only like
Word.
$5 anyway or something to get
Mhm.
it clean.
It's probably cheap.
Yeah. And I wonder if they test it first too, because like it's like
They
you're paying
do.
you're paying money to get it clean, so you would think as long as it
Oh yeah.
works, then you pay for it. But if not, then I don't know if it doesn't work.
I remember
then,
they tested a few of my GameCube games on a small TV behind there, so they do.
That's what I figured. They're cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing this for over 2 hours, which I wasn't expecting that at all tonight because we had less topics and stuff. But then the conversation kind of came up a little bit,
Hey, it's a
and
good
then
thing.
and then you showed up. So when you showed up, it went over 2 hours. So hey,
I guess you could say I'm electrifying, huh?
Indeed.
yes, I love that movie. Can't wait to see Doctor
Yes.
Strange. But, I don't
Dude,
see it
you
till
will love
Saturday.
it, Dennis. I don't
I got
know,
4 more
Dennis.
days.
You're. I don't know. Compared to me, you might nitpick it a little bit more, but
I might.
I personally, I love the movie. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people, they didn't really like it, but
Hmm.
I, mean,
I thought
they said
about
it
doing-
wasn't their top 10.
Like
but
I showed
still
you
love it.
before, I made a separate channel, for doing like movie podcasts, but I don't know how to. What I want to do if we start doing that, and we wouldn't do it once a week, so we'd have to like make time to do it more than once a week, talking about movies and stuff, because it'd be like an actual channel, maybe 3 times a week or something at least.
Okay.
But if we do that, I need to figure out a way to where the camera is not on like 4 or 5 of us at once, but only the person who's talking. Because if you've ever
Oh.
watched the John Campea show on YouTube, that's how he does it. Is that like when he's talking about an article, before he talks about it, he boots it up on the screen or whatever, reads something on it, and then he talks about it, and then when he gives it to someone else, they talk about it, and they're the main camera at the time. So I gotta
like
figure that out.
though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out. I don't know how to do all that because we're just talking through Discord here. So I'd have to figure it out. I'd have to figure
Look on
it out.
YouTube. Here's a video about it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'll have to look
YouTube's
into
got a
that.
video for everything.
I'll have to look
Mhm,
into
mhm.
that, and then if I can figure that out, we could maybe do my actual other channel I wanted to do just for
Well,
movie
hey,
talk.
check the page. Check the page that you said you watched that guy on. Maybe he has a tutorial on how he did it.
He might. And there's other people who do. So yeah, I'll have to look into it. But yeah, well, holy crap! It's almost 1 a.m. What the heck? Wow. 2 hours and 19 minutes. This is the longest podcast that we've done too, which is I find that hilarious because I thought this would be the shortest one, and then it ended up being the longest one. Hopefully within the next week there's a lot more gaming news and stuff, and hopefully next week we can have 6 or 7 people. But I don't know. Steven's hard to get a hold of. Like I messaged him earlier today, and he messaged me back and said let me know, and then he didn't, and I messaged him again, but he didn't.
He's
message
been a little
back,
busy.
So, yeah,
He's
I know
been
he's
busy
got
at
he's
home,
got a
yeah.
family and all, so you know.
I got kids. I mean, if you consider gaming discs kids, but I mean, that's, you know.
I got
kids then.
my kid right here, and then I also got this one's a little bit different of a kid, but you know I got that kid
Well,
too.
She's really camera shy, but today she's feeling great. That's my girlfriend right there. She's been really great to me. We've been together for about 2 years. November will be 2 years, so it's been,
Flames.
See, mine was hard to get. I had to fight for mine. So
Hey, you fought for
Way to
love,
go.
man. You fought
I
for, your
fought for
love.
love,
So,
yep.
hey.
Yep, pretty much. All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll end it. That way I can actually get this on YouTube tonight before I go to sleep tonight. You know. All right. So, well, they already know where to find me because it's on my channel. But where can they find any of you? I say it's like
I don't really have a
No,
channel.
I know you don't have nothing.
I'm just here.
If you
I'm
did,
just here,
it's just
so,
if you did, you know. You can find this guy at GameStop. I won't say where. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
Sean,
I mean, hey,
Or
you guys
Cameron.
got anything? Shoot.
they do. Oh yeah, his name's right there.
Oh my
Farman
God, he
Kyber
has it on the
13.
screen.
I like that. I do
He's
like
doing
that.
Will Smith meme. He's like,
Farman Kyber 13 live on Twitch. Oh, yeah, Sean.
I'm aggravated hobo, and I'm on Twitch.
Yep. The links will be in the
We'll do-
description. If someone actually managed to watch this or skip to the end to actually see this, or looks in the description for once to actually see links, you know, they're just there. Me and my small community that hopefully continues to grow. I really hope it does. I so badly want to hit 1,000 subscribers. My goal is by the end of the year, but it's hard, man. Like, if I had better ways to promote it, it'd be great. Like, you know, like I know you work at GameStop and stuff, but it's not like you can like be like, hey, can you sub to this person's channel? No, you know, they're like random customers. Yeah, we're all gamers here, but it's like that's the downside.
and Dennis, you got to remember too, man. Ever since 20, everybody streams, man. So it's hard. It's a hard competition. I mean, it's
Streams.
trust me.
YouTube.
I give you all the credit in the world for doing this. I'll help any way I can,
Yeah.
whether it's being here. Or,
Yeah, and doing
So-
YouTube, it's fun. I mean, I'm at least having fun, you know, and that
yeah,
matters
that's
the most.
important thing.
Yeah, I hope there comes a day when I hit that 1,000 subscribers. Maybe it'll take longer than a year or whatever, but I'm glad that
Your
I'm
hard
doing it
work will
again.
pay off. Your
I
hard work
hope
will
so.
pay off.
I
Dennis.
hope so.
It will.
I don't know.
It may not be
And-
as
and I
soon as
try-
you think. Who knows? It could be tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, it'll pay off. It'll pay
Yeah,
off.
between podcasts once a week and talking about gaming and doing the skits, which I haven't done one lately because I want to be 100% back to normal because I was sick this past week.
Yeah, I'm glad to see
so,
you're
yeah.
looks like you're doing better.
Yeah. I mean,
Glad to see that.
last Tuesday I did the podcast too, but I mean, I was technically sick, but I did it anyway. Same with the cord management video that I did. I was sick, but I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours doing cord management in my room because I'm an idiot. I'm like, whatever. whatever. I wanted to do it
At
so
least he's
bad.
honest.
I couldn't help it.
Hey, yeah, at least he is honest. So, I
Yeah.
mean, hey.
I don't know. It's more mild for me at least, but yeah, you know, whatever. Yeah. Hopefully next Tuesday. I don't know who else we'll have, but well, I know you come in at random times whenever you can. Obviously, the
I
other
think
two
I
guys
should
are-
be able to be on. I
Yeah.
should be able to.
I figured 10:30
had-
is the best time for me to do it, more or less for most people. So that's why I do it at 10:30 instead of like 10 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
And even so, like you said, you can jump in later if need be or whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, I
Which-
mean, I would have been on time tonight. I had some stuff I had to take care of, but
It happens, yeah. Not everyone will always show, and I mean, Sheldon's not here tonight. And he was here the last 2 weeks, so he had some things going on. So yeah, I mean, I never expect everyone to show up. Although Sean and Farben,
It would be nice.
Sean, Farben, Kyber, Cameron, and myself, you know, I guess we have no lives, so.
Well, dang, dude. Okay. You don't want to be that harsh on yourself, man. You guys obviously have a life. I mean, you got your whole channel going. That is a life. So I mean, hey.
Yeah. No,
Just-
I
if it was-
gotta
hey,
work too.
Hey, I'll say this, Dennis. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say that.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you're right.
You
You're
know?
right. It's not easy. I mean, if it was like 15 years ago, it'd be easy, but
Right.
everyone does it nowadays.
Right. I mean,
Very
hey, you do
difficult.
work too, man. You work. I know you put in your hours. So
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
May not be full time, but if I was full time, I might not have as much time to do YouTube and stuff. So I'm cool
True,
with what
true.
I'm at. I live at home, you know. I can afford part time easy, so it's
Yep.
fine by me, you know.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll see you guys next week. Hey, if
Sounds
anyone was
good.
watching, thanks so much for watching. If you made it to the end, like I'd be like, holy crap! But I don't think anyone's watching this beginning to end, like ever. Maybe one day if we have like a lot more subscribers and viewers and stuff. Maybe one day, but not not as of
True
right now.
dedication if you made it this far. True dedication.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
Seriously. All right. Yeah,
But-
thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Well,
Mhm.
I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday night,
Peace
10:30
out.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Later.
Indeed.